attention. Oops, we missed.
Oops.
We're
We're
late.
live now.
We am live. I'm sitting here. We're sitting here talking, and I look over at the clock. Oh crap! We're a minute late. We got Hugh Rossi already in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your streaming positions, which is probably sitting for all of you and us. Turn your volume down just a little, Thomas.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, not terrible. Not terrible, but I can hear me.
Is that better?
Yes.
Awesome.
I can always tell the difference. So guys, Rerise is back. We has Rerise again. I'm surprised we don't have a bunch of people in the chat already. We got 2. So it's all good. Hopefully we'll have numbers similar to when Rerise ended. We never know, because that was the most people watching out of any stream we've done. That was like 30. So that's actually, you know, before I get started, I'm going to turn off autofocus because you know how I like to talk with my hands, and that drives me crazy. Hello, KJX218. Haven't seen you before. Hi. Guys, of course,
Hello.
if you are popping up, make sure you say hi in the chat so we know you're here. Of course, we all know my co-host here, Mr. Rod Thomason. So guys, if you've been following the Shoki page, I've been putting up some Gundam InfoWars breaking news things right and left, and he has a character that we've named Rod Thomason. We're still looking at what my name could be on there, the Shoki-ish character. I came up with a funny name, but I don't know if it'll really work. It's kind of long, but we're doing that right and left, and he's actually working on like anime versions of us as it is, like just I guess. Lulu rewritten. Hello, card 995. Ah, yes, where's the dirt? Hashtag where's the dirt? You know what? You know what? I think the dirt is orbiting Eldora around their moon now, because you can see a bunch of crud floating in the sky. So it's possible that's where all the dirt went. It actually moved to a planet 30 light years away. They're so desperate to get rid of that dirt. Omega took the dirt. He's hiding in the background. That's funny. Omega.
Oh, you can see
that Omega. That Omega. But guys, of course, new episode of Rerise. They're finally back. But before we get to that, what do we have this week?
Okay, let's see. We got.
Pretty sure you only had 2 videos like me.
And whenever you put me on the spot, I always forget. Crap.
You had an SD Wing Gundam.
What's that?
You had an SD Wing Gundam.
SD. Oh, wait. Did I have?
That was this week.
So that's right. It was the SD full Strike Gundam full package.
I thought you had a Wing Gundam.
That was earlier.
That was earlier than that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I think my other video would have been the update on
for your MS100 build.
Yep. Hashtag MS100
in the description, guys. So if you don't know about the MS100 contest, for some reason you've never heard about it, in the description down below. It's April now. You've got a month or so to finish your builds. So get after it. I know there's a lot of people. I did actually just get the pictures for Sam's build. So I need to actually upload those because he didn't have the email. So he just sent them to me. So I've got to upload those. He's got a pretty cool build there. But I think the only thing, it's like I had 2 reviews go up aside from the normal thing. And that was a Minato statue from Naruto.
Right.
Which nobody seemed to care about at all. And then the Zeku half cannon review went up.
Oh, that was cool.
That was a cool review. That was the first review done with my changed lighting setup, and it came out really nice. So my lights are staying that way as I'm now like 3 reviews deep on using the new lighting setup. And by that, I just mean I moved some lights.
Yeah, that's where you have the 4 lights up
all
at the
4
front
lights are, yeah. So before, the back 2 were behind, and then the front 2 were down low or up high or whatever. And I was having so many issues with white balance and focus and things like that, that I was just like, I'm done fighting this. And then I noticed that Bobby Skullface, who I borrowed the idea for the setup from, has most of his lighting coming from the front. Like, I think he's got a couple lights above, but he's got like 4 from the front. Or he's got like a spotlight from above, like a just normal light. And it wasn't his most recent Cribs video. He went through his area, checking, watching it, going through his whole new collection and is redoing the basement and stuff like that. But he showed off his review area. I was like, that's a little bit different. And that's when I tried it out. And I'm like, that looks so much better. Like, everything is so much more in focus and nothing's trying to balance out the wrong way. Even when the difference between having my hands in the shot and not actually was visible, or Duvy Gunpla watching on TV and phone. Oh, cool. Gate Gaming, hello there. It's my first time in your channel. Hello, Gate Gaming. So for anybody who might be new, I did share this in a new group that I'm in. Shout out to all the Gasselcast We Hunt Together group. If you're over here checking us out, you have no clue what we're doing. It's like we are currently on our Sunday review series. We're going over the newest Gundam anime, and if you have no idea what it is, you'll get some idea tonight, because it was a premiere episode. So it's new to this season. So yay! So it's like,
and it gives a nice little recap of sorts.
Yeah, that's one thing that's nice, is this is such a beginning thing that it doesn't just throw you straight into where they left off, and that was a little jarring considering we've been waiting for like 6 months.
Yeah.
No, not even quite 6 months. Like what? Not even. It was only like 12 weeks or something. So whatever the amount of time was that we were doing those origin reviews, because I think our first one was 4 episodes in one. Chris Uking16 channel. Hello. Is it Thursday yet? It's not Thursday yet. Sincerely, I see you there. Oh, new guys like me. Totally not Marlon. Marlon, you're not new. So hello, new people. I appreciate you coming and watching. But other than this, we occasionally do. We, by that I mean me. But for anybody who doesn't know, this is my Rodimus 13.
Yeah.
My Rodimus 13.
Your Rodimus 13.
You can't have it. Behind the scenes episode, Fakri. I want to ask your opinion of connection between May and Hiruto's L-Diver friend, because in the opening, we'll get there.
Yeah, that was a cool that was a cool image, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we will get there, guys. Oh, and something different with this episode. I have lots of screenshots. So I'm going to be doing a lot of clicking onto other things while trying to maintain my notes and read the chat. So I'm going to go insane. All right, it's been a while. We needed a recap. It wasn't just a recap, but also backstory. Yes, that's one thing that's really cool, is this was a good backstory for the episode, for everything prior to this. So we got to see a little bit of slice of life, plus the history of how we got to where we did on Eldora. That's pretty cool. I'm curious about Hiruto's new mobile suit. We all are. Oh, also, I put tags for the first time on this episode, so some might be finding it randomly because of the tags. So if you're new here, you just saw it go live and you've never seen my channel before, hi. Lots of Gundam content.
Hello, new people.
Hello, new people.
Or hello, future new people. Or if you're watching the recording of this.
If you're watching this from the future, hi. Dude, seriously, like last week's episode, the Origin finale episode, has so many views in comparison to the 2 weeks before when we went on Monday. Like, if we go on Monday, nobody watches it. Like, even after the fact, I don't even understand how that happened. Like, even the next morning, it had more views than the previous 2 weeks combined. And I'm like, wow, okay, we're never going live on a Monday again, because that was terrible. We will just wait. Like, we'll just wait and we'll double it up if we have to, or we'll just do a quick recap or whatever. Yes, we're all very curious about new things. No, yeah, that was another thing. Seemingly, people weren't able to see when live streams were going live or when they were posted. There for like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, people, because so many things were going live, I guess the system was going nuts. So I guess now people are able to see things as they go live. Dirt equals more views. Maybe. Hashtag where's the dirt, y'all. Which, by the way, there is hashtag where's the dirt merch. So if you go to the Shoki store, I do have hashtag where's the dirt merch. And I am doing more of those little images as things come up. And they will happen for Rerise as well as theory crafting happens along the way, which we've already got some stuff to craft some theories from just in this episode alone. And even the opener, because, wow, they put a lot in that new intro. New season, woohoo. Yes, Arturo Gabriano. I noticed he was fairly well absent during our non-Rerise reviews. Wag my finger at you, Arturo.
I wag my finger too.
Yeah, it's finger wagging. It's his fault. Anyway, so let me roll over to the notes. Do you have any thoughts on this episode without going into deep? Any pre-feelings?
I liked it.
Okay.
It's really cool, like you said, getting to see some of the before stuff and a sense of what life is kind of like or was kind of like for the puppy people.
Yes, we had to return the puppy people. What was the puppy people theory thing I sent to you? I sent something. I forgot what it was, but there's something I wanted to do for the puppy people.
Oh, I forget. I remember referring to Freddie as the dog emperor or something like that.
Gate Gaming. If you want to know those things, I actually put up my favorites list at the end of the year. So if you just go back to my channel, you'll get my number one.
Excuse me.
My number one builds and stuff like that. Yay. It's his girlfriend, though. Apparently, his girlfriend was keeping Arturo from being a part of our life. You don't need her, man. You don't need her. You need us. And it's only on Sundays. Come on. Anyways, so let's roll over to wherever the hell my... Oh, by the way, that's your notes. YouTube has a new system on their monetization when you upload. Have you experienced this week?
I don't have monetization.
Not monetized.
It's the way to rub it in, Shoki.
For other,
you know what?
Well, at this point, I just expect everyone I know to be monetized. Why aren't you monetized yet? Late to the game. That's why you're not monetized yet. Either way, no. They introduced a new thing that it's a checklist of all the naughty things that you're not supposed to do, and if you hit too many of those things in your video, they just say you can't have monetization or you'll be limited. So it's the admittance of guilt beforehand, like, are you cursing? Do you have these things? Is it sensitive subjects and stuff like that? And if it's something like a normal review, you just click nope. But in the case of this, we're going to be cussing. But that doesn't exclude you from monetization. So yay! All right. Shut up, Hida. Quit reading my notes. New system again. Woohoo! Good job, YouTube. Yes, they changed a lot of things. And Facebook making changes and immediately changing them back. That was funny. Which, by the way, Facebook has a whole new desktop version. Like, if you're not on your phone, that they're just cloning the mobile version and making it on desktop. Don't use it. If you click on the thing, tell them you hate it and you don't want it to change. Anyways.
Yeah, I saw something about it's like, do you want to try the new version? I'm like, no.
It's literally mobile, but on your computer screen.
I'm old and afraid of change.
Yes. Why? Yep, Jed is a thing. I'm not gonna finish that sentence because guys, do not get ahead of me, okay? I know a lot of you have been discussing things in the Discord. I purposely stayed out of that because we do this. It's like, this is our talking about it. It's fine. And by the way, if you're gonna join the Discord, make sure you keep all serious discussion in the serious discussion check, especially if it's new stuff with spoilers. Please put it in the spoiler section if you're going to talk major things that happen in episodes, because I had to clear that up on the Discord because it was all in general. I was like, guys, we have an actual thing for that. Stop putting it on the front page. So let's go to the notes, which is somewhere in one of these ridiculous tabs I have everywhere. There we go. So this episode, which is technically episode 14, but it's episode 1 of season 2, opens on Freddie. And he's entering the temple. He's like,
seemingly for the first time.
Seemingly for the first time, which actually we know at this point is the first time. Much like this, just blah.
Pictures.
It is the temple. So now here's what I find funny. So the temple is like dark except for this. It means it's got to have a thing from above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got to have a hole in the ceiling. But as we'll discover later on, apparently you can't view everything from one particular angle. I have to laugh at that because it's a little bit wonky. So he walks in there and he's talking about how he decided to go explore this temple because he found this old book in storage room. I was like, what storage room did you find this in? It would make sense if it was like at that base in the forest where it's full of like creators stuff, but like he finds a book that literally, you know, it's kind of crazy, you know, stuff like this, for instance. You know, and
my assumption is that it might be a translation thing or something like that. In a lot of anime, particularly where it takes place like in or near a old house, you'll usually have like a storage building or shed or something like that. That basically they'll keep old books and newspapers and other things. Basically, think like detached garage, but not for cars.
Yeah, and actually looking at this particular page, like it looks like somebody trying to do alchemy.
Yeah, it's very FMA like.
Always bringing it back to FMA somehow, which I don't think there's going to be any Game of Thrones parallels to this. But you see a whole lot of alien language here, which was present in season 1. They just never focused on it. We never got to see anything up close. So actually, go back to season 1, especially once they reach the Resistance base and they have all the plans on the wall, you do see the language written out, but it's never on screen for very long. They really kind of focus on this book quite a lot. And you'll end up recognizing a lot of these symbols, especially like the chevrons and stuff like that. It's all ancient, you know. Set open the Stargate. Kind of?
You're not wrong.
Do I have to make Stargate parallels now? Did I just do that? But either way, he explores around. He looks at the carved stone that's right there in the middle, and he's kind of feeling around like a moron. He's like, like crawling all over it. Which is funny. And obviously he's read to the fact that it should do something, but then, you know, he can't really discover what it does, and he knows it should turn on somehow. But yeah, it's just crazy. Let's see, did I skip a picture? I might have. But I said that wow, I really wrote this badly. It's like he said he didn't know that he would meet the divers there. And then we zoom to the outside and we see
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So this kind of gives you an idea. The temple is actually a good distance away. You know, this is just like one of these big mountain ridges nearby, but we get to see those good old one eyes that we saw from the first episode last series.
Yeah, specifically the tank versions. So we got like I think the two frontmost ones, or the furthest ones away from us, are like sort of the wheelie kind, and then obviously the one in the back that's got a different color scheme is a hover variant.
Yeah, and that one also seems to be the one that's in charge to some degree.
Yeah, it really does feel like it's a command unit. I mean, as much as because we don't see pilots for them.
Well, we know there are.
So it's kind of safe to assume that maybe they are fully mechanical, but that's all kind of assumption.
That is true. But it was pretty short opening, and then we go to the new intro, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
I'm not sure how I feel about the music just yet, but it's pretty good. I'll have to hear it more often.
The music feels very much like it feels much more like a standard shonen anime style theme, which makes sense because now that we know what the stakes are for the universe and stuff like that, this is more of a sort of a typical shonen anime where you got to fight to save the world or a world.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat. William Indo is saying all kinds of funny stuff in the chat. Sorry, guys. I have to click between a whole lot of things. I don't know if you can see the chat effectively, but if you could watch it, it'd probably be easier. Because I have to go between too many screens. But we see the new, first it goes to Hiruto, and we see the core Gundam way back when he kind of went berserk that one time and just blew up all the things. And he's not very happy with himself at that point. And then we actually see the new Rerise logo. It's the same logo, but the way it comes together is interesting. So all kinds of, I'm guessing, like it's being injected like a runner. And
yeah, I thought that was super cool.
It was cool, but then it's like also multicolored. It's like yellow, red, blue, and gray. Like
Yeah,
all
it
kinds
starts off multicolor and then it goes to the standard colorization, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I literally wrote that down. But then it hangs on that for a second, which I guess I could show this now, because then it pulls up this nice little image behind it, which is definitely from a Pokemon movie. If that's not a legendary bird of some sort from Pokemon, I'll eat my non-existent hat.
It could be a legendary insect.
Well, I don't know, because I mean, it definitely, you see the wings, and you've got like a thing here, and then a center prod, and what is definitely going to be legs. I wish I could point at the screen and you guys could see what I'm pointing at. That would be useful. I saw William Hendo. Yes, Rerise is an isekai to some degree. It's not one of those isekais where they're 100% stuck, but they are popping into a virtual world. It's Zapdos. That's what I was thinking. It looks a lot like Zapdos.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. If there's a cockpit, these suits are based on G Gundam's unmanned drones, right? You'll find wriggling tentacle kids. No, we know. They're all Death Army based.
Oh yeah, so technically, I don't think Death Army had cockpits, did they? Or
Nope.
were they piloted by dead things?
Sure, drones. I think that's what he's getting at. Gundam Pokemon. It might be piloted like they were in G Gundam. I mean, like, the thing is, at least with the One Eye suits, with the exception of Celtsam, they're all remote controlled. We figured that out last time. They're all controlled either by a controlling thing or a central command unit or through Alice, like we discovered last time. Episode 14 reveal how Rerise anime began. Yeah, kind of. Oh, jeez. Let's see here. But yeah, let's just say that that's probably going to come into play. And next we see May as she touches a reflection of herself that changes to Eve.
Yes.
Is interesting because season 1, a lot of what May said triggered Eve memories in Hiruto.
Yeah.
But after that, it swings out and we get this image of them communicating I said they're like touching, but we also see Sarah like there. So we know Sarah was the first, and then after her, they discovered, what was it, 83 or something like that. It was a lot. It was quite a lot of L divers. So I mean, I don't think this means so much as they're like connected, other than the fact they're all L divers, and like she's like the mommy of all.
Yeah, because I have it written down as like she's embracing them, so it feels very much like a familial or maternal embrace of what she's doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like you said, like a mother.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Well, we already know that Sarah has met. She was there when May came out the first time. So they've probably greeted as many. Actually, they probably greeted every L diver they probably brought them all there to give them their new.
Yeah, if they all have bodies, I would imagine they would have to go through them because they're the ones that know how to do it, have the technology to do so.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're not the same person, Marlon. Person, because we know that Eve got deleted in the great wiping of everything, and May did not. So May got out, Eve did not. So they're definitely not the same person. Eldivers are shards of love and passion for Gunpla, more or less. That's the best kind of explanation of extra data coming from Gunpla and from the Gunpla users somehow becoming a sentient thing. It's a very interesting concept. Let's just be honest here.
I'm very excited to see what they do to further explore the concept of Eldivers in this season.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I got to do a thing. There we go. I had to shrink it down just a hair so I could see what I was doing. Next up, we see Par and Shari together.
That's so cool to see those two together.
Yeah, so I mean, it took all the way up until like the last episode, basically, or second to last episode last season to determine that Par was definitely his little brother, and it wasn't until he said his name to confirm it. But then right after this particular freeze frame, you actually get the Valkylander flying over, or Morgiana, as it were.
Yes.
So it's definitely a thing. And then next up, we see Hinata running, and also I believe that is Shido's sister, or Sid. Technically, it's Shido, because that's his name. Yeah, did you not know?
That's who that was. I've been trying to figure that out. I forgot about her. Okay.
Because these are our people stuck in the real world that have no effect on what else is going on. So that's what this connection was. It took me a second, but I figured that one out. I was like, I know that's not Hinata, but she looks familiar. So that's Sid's sister. But
yeah, at first I thought maybe it was her when she was older, and then for a moment I thought maybe that was the champ or something like that.
Mm-mm. No, it's his sister.
Okay, cool.
But
cool.
It's because I had to look it up because I couldn't remember his name, and I forgot that it's something Shido. So when they said his character's name is Sid, when you actually look at it, it's actually spelled Shido. So they're just kind of dropping the S a little bit and the O. So it's interesting how that. So he followed the trend of people basically using their actual name as their character name to some degree.
Yeah.
And then we get a slight flashback of the kids crying and stuff, and then the handing of the Gunpla to the Build Divers after their victory at the Silver Tower. And you see it's Kazumi having this flashback, of course. And then he reaches out and you see the Justice Knight, and then it stuff starts flying onto it, which I thought was interesting, until we eventually get to what is revealed as his new Gunpla, which we already knew about because they can't wait till the actual series to reveal these things.
I still think it was really cool the way you see it all come together, because it's very much like they looked at the Gunpla and it's like, okay, these panels come together this way, or at the very least they did it based off of how a standard Gunpla would come together.
Yeah, no, it was a neat idea. But of course we get the Aegis Knight here, which does look cool, if not bulky.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he finally changed something, for the love of God. Let's see. If that's true, then there will be Eldivers that stem from the frustration of not getting purple part. Yeah, I guess. Deletion can often be reversed. Overwrites are permanent. That hasn't been said one way or the other in series. He said he also has a theory that May was kind of a recycled data of Eve based on new opening. That's just a theory, though. I mean, they were kind of making that parallel last season, so I don't think it's not a far-fetched idea, but I don't like that idea. I like the idea that she is gone having her come back as, I mean, it would be very Gundam to have her come back as a different character with no memory of her previous life, and then somewhat be reminded of her because now she's in contact with the person that she loved, so to speak. But I like the idea that May is entirely unto herself, because it seems like it was so early on. Like, it seems like he knew Eve at the same time the other divers knew Sarah, because we see him fighting in that battle, and then post battle when they did the wipe, she didn't make it out in time because he was kind of keeping her a secret, I guess, or he wasn't sure that she was an L diver. Nobody knew what an L diver was.
Yeah,
so,
nobody was. Even not until it was basically too late.
Yeah, L divers don't even know what they are until they're finally discovered. You know, I'd settle for a gun.
L diver was the name that people came up with for them.
Electronic life form, yeah. It looks like there is a core Gundam in Aegis Knight from the opening. Maybe. It looks weird in and of itself, and the way it transforms, so to speak, is not quite the way the Aegis does it, but at the same time it is. Who knows? I mean, it would make sense to have a core Gundam type thing or a core fighter or something at the center of it. I'm more interested in the Uraven. Yep, Uraven's going to be cool. That was the one I couldn't think of the name. Uraven. That's the dark colored one, right?
I believe so, yeah.
That's the one I couldn't remember earlier. So I'll have a thing coming up here in a little bit, and I couldn't remember that name for some reason. I'm getting another FMA segue. Yeah, maybe. Probably the boss. Man, imagine how twisted an L diver would be if it was born from the frustrations of absurdly tough missions, getting that draw ticket, and you just get a green part. Okay, he's just making all this. Association.
What's that behind it?
Oh, the big floating rock?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just a big floating rock. Or that's that mountain they were talking about, where the souls transverse to be resurrected. Maybe it's a big floating mountain. We don't know. But yes, no, there's a very large floating mountain in the background. We weren't talking about that yet. I don't know. That's a good point. It's a big floating castle. And then we come to the Tertium.
Looking cool.
Looking pretty cool, fighting all the One Eyes. I think people were thinking, look, he's going to join their side. This is a flashback.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a flashback.
Yeah, this is flashback. He was there first. He was the one who went into this mission before they did, because he's the one who sided with the Resistance, except he must have come in somewhere else, because he got with the Resistance, and none of the village that we know have any recollection of him or Gunpla. So it's possible there's other temples somewhere, or maybe they summoned him. Oh, Moran put that book in the storage room after they summoned Sid and things went wrong.
That would make sense.
Yeah, but we'll see that flashback. Damn it. We always figure things out in the live streams. But the main reason you kind of know that this is a flashback is because the next scene literally is like a flash of the evil eye, so to speak. And then we get Seltsam and the Seltsam pilot, who has a really wicked sword there.
That is a super cool looking sword. I was looking at that earlier too.
Yeah, it's just like, we haven't seen him outside of the cab, but I bet we're going to see him fight on foot at some point, which would be silly, but you never know. This image was confusing at first because I was like, what is the big red suit over? Oh, never mind. It's just his hand. I was like, oh, yeah, that would be the Seltsam arm. And then it actually cuts to the eye of the thing, and then you see the evil core Gundam, so to speak, or the Alice core, I bet is what it'll be called. And then it zooms out, and we see the let's see, what do they call it technically? The Earth-3 Alice Gundam, I believe, is what it was technically called on the kit. So he's actually like copied the Earth-3 suit, so to speak, and twisted it to his own abilities. However, we also get plenty of other suits around. Some you can't really make out what they are, but odds are they're more variants of the what was the thing from last season? I'm asking you.
The Death Army?
Not the Death Army, the other one.
The Daughters.
Daughters. There are probably some Daughters customs, but we get to see the Wyndham customs here, or the I guess
Two different versions of them, in fact.
I think there's 3 technically because we see them later on. But it's pretty interesting that he's reached out to copy more things now that he's, because we already knew that Alice was looking at GBN. So obviously the suits that he came up with, he's probably just looking for something that's troop built, so to speak. But I want to bring up something. Maybe I'll bring it up later. I saved it at the end, but it's something about that eye that I'll bring up later. I told you about it already.
Yes.
And then it goes to Hiruto running, like from the real world, running into his version. And I think it goes through all of his versions, like younger Hiruto, newer Hiruto, the way he looked before to the way he looks now, and then kind of going into the core Gundam 2, which looks like it's getting its ass kicked right there, if we're honest. Like legit, like it's being booted in the ass. But it transformed. So it went from flight mode and then transformed. I assume that will just be another faceplant flyer.
Probably.
As it is known. But it's pretty cool. We finally really get to see it. I mean, we saw him like holding it last season at the very end. So it's nothing new. Plus we've seen the Gunpla already.
Mhm.
The Gunpla. And then we got to May jumping out of her Wodan pod. Fine. And then we see the Justice Knight for some reason. It's like they're reliving older battles, I guess. And then we see one of the new armors pop up on the screen. Our friend with the big drills. Which one did people say this one probably was? Were they thinking this was the Uranus or Uranus?
Yeah, because we do know.
No, that's not Uraven. No, I had it wrong. That's not Uraven. That's got to be.
This is Neptune.
Neptune. Sorry, Uraven.
Because there's one that has like actual rings.
Yes.
So
once again,
that's got to be Saturn. Otherwise, what the heck are they doing?
Yeah. So once again, picture I have coming up later, I clearly forgot things, but this is a cool shot. Clearly, it's like trying to dig a hole. So we're gonna see a lot more than just straight up battles, I bet, because we're gonna have to get a lot more world building.
Yeah.
And then we go to the new Valkylander with his Buster. So this is the new white one. It actually starts out on his GN drive opening up and glowing and then zooms out a little bit. And then he goes into this. So obviously he's firing off a mega burst. It's pretty cool. I like the new wings. I like how it's all like expanded out. I mean, we've seen the kit. It looks neat.
Oh, and you can see that it's got the green GN particles coming off of it too.
It does have green GN particles. Well, he had green GN particles last season.
Yeah, he did. It's a neat, knowing that it's based off the Estrella, it's neat that they include the correct colored particle effects, basically.
Also, I want to point out the fact that it has a big center horn now. Kind of like that image we saw earlier on this.
I think that ties into something that I talked to you about earlier.
Yeah, there's something about that. But then we change over. And we get to see this big boy. And
there's a name for that pose, but I can't remember what it is.
It doesn't matter. It's the I've got a giant cannon pose. Now,
or a giant sword.
Okay, now, was this the Uraven?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because I was confused. Once again, just like whenever they showed it the first time, and they're like, this is the Uraven armor. I was like, why does it look like so why does it look like the Mercury One armor? It's like this just looks like Mercury One armor again. So he's got a big ass gun, so that's fun always. And if I remember correctly, he was fighting the Cell Sam right here. Like the Cell Sam comes flying in at him right now, and then you see a big bright beam come out of the top of a mountain, and then we see this. It's a big energy thing. It's fairly well dragon shaped. That we already saw on the poster as a big glowing dragony thing.
And I wonder if this thing is because remember there was that weird image in the first opening where we see like white energy on a pink background, kind of moving around, but we never quite understood what we were looking at.
Yeah, it's the
I'm
plot.
wondering if that's connected.
Hold on. It's the plot dragon. Obari pose. Yeah, basically the Obari pose, but with a big gun instead of a sword. The part with Hiruto and the OP gave chills. Yep, what Neptune is already in armor. Neptune isn't in armor, right? Yeah, wait. No, because we had Earth.
We only went up to Jupiter.
Yeah, we had Earth, Venus, Mars.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter.
Yeah, we hadn't gone past Jupiter yet. So we hadn't gotten to Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, or Saturn. So, and we don't even know that we'll get that. Is that Shenron? Maybe. It looks like they're summoning him from the Dragon Balls. So I mean, it's. I like the just sheer amount of energy coming off of it. So we know this thing is going to be somewhat important. And like I said,
Ball Z.
Yeah, Gumpla Ball Z. So we are Gumpla Balls. We already know from the poster that we saw what we thought was the was like some kind of energy attack form of the
Valkylander, yeah.
The Valkylander, but now we have confirmation that's not what's happening. Go back to the notes so I can remember what the hell I was going to say. But basically, it's like, oh hey, remember that sacred beast they're always talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, this sort of reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! in that factor, especially later seasons, like 5Ds and stuff. Well, that's a real thing. And then we get sorry, I skipped ahead. Sorry. So we get the divers all standing together on top of another base or a temple or something. And then Freddie's there with them. And then he looks over and then Hiruto kind of steps in front of him, which I thought was weird. I'm like,
yeah,
okay. It's like, but it's almost like he's kind of alone, sort of again. I just hope he gets off of that loner path. We already had too much character development last season. But then we jump to the planets, all in a nice little line, and then little beams coming up from it, all the different armors flashing across the screen and stuff like that, going through the ones we know and some of the new ones that we have seen. And then a dark one comes flying in. Ooh, what is that? I bet that's the ultimate one. It's like, that's the Megazord. and then we close on this shot, which has all his armors.
Such a cool shot.
Yeah, it's got all his armors laid out in their flight modes, which, as I previously stated, clearly I forgot some shit whenever I did it. So the next image I have here is actually not the next image. I didn't save that image, or did I? There it is. Okay. So once again, I forgot some things. So we got Jupiter off to the left. So the Jupiter, Mars, then Earth, then Venus, Mercury, and then what I'd clearly forgotten in the background there.
Yeah, you just got Neptune and Uranus.
I got Neptune and Uranus backwards, but then Saturn in a question mark with all the little things in the background that are clearly bits and parts and satellite things. So that's possibly like also some like Pluto bits. Maybe we kind of just talked about what if Pluto was like satellite stuff that also around it.
In the far back, it's that trap thing that he used in the first episode.
Oh, is that what that is?
On the left-hand side, it's those little. They look like.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm pointing at like you can see what I'm pointing.
Satellite dishes. Are you talking about that? The satellite dish things?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've seen that armor already, the like light green one with the ring on the back and all the extra stuff. So we're assuming that's Saturn. But obviously I bet people have also surmised that maybe he'll use like a chunk of like every armor and make like some kind of
solar system
armor or something. But this is the thing I wanted to point out that I noticed when I was doing these. He's got a bunch of grandpa weapons sitting behind him.
Holy crap, he does.
Yeah. I saw the bazooka first and then the shield. I'm like, wait, what? And then there's the beam pike thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shield Chan. Yeah.
Yeah. So for some reason, he has all the grandpa weapons there, and I don't know why. I feel like that's just a tie-in because of the anniversary aspect.
Huh.
So really interesting that's just sitting there, like just nonchalantly, like, wait a minute, what? It's like, is he gonna bust out some grandpa weapons? Which I'm not.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, so this was the funny part. So I was already like well over an hour into my notes and my screenshots and everything to get to this point, and I'm only at the intro. That was
We're
crazy.
also 45 minutes into this thing, and we've only just gotten to the intro.
Yeah. All right, so behind it is the traps used in the first episode, the Gundam hammer from the Gundam movie trilogy. Yep, that's really prepared. Yeah, this is one of the few times I was very prepared. There was a lot to point out. The backpack for the armor, but he's got like so much stuff that goes on that backpack. It's kind of ridiculous. There's another armor behind the green armor, kind of. Because I don't know. And don't forget, there's a mysterious planet armor for 4-core Gundam based on the sun. We haven't seen that. Like there should be anything for the soul armor. Because the one that flies at you in Shadow is like the Saturn armor. You can see the ring.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Gunplan the dragon. Gunplan. That'd be funny. Gunplan the plot dragon. That'd be funny. I'm betting the green armor is going to be used to get from the actual planet to Earth. You can see Gramps beam sabers. Oh, yeah, I saw the beam sabers too. So he's got the regular ones and then the grandpa beam sabers next to it.
Yeah, because I think I do remember he had 4 beam sabers there. I just didn't think much of it other than he had his weapons all laid out.
Yeah. And yes, I know Pluto's not a planet anymore, but that's also why it may not be a full-on armor versus like an accessory pack. But it would have to be like circling Neptune. So maybe the one with the ring is not Saturn. Maybe that's Neptune and the armor floats around it. Core 2 was naked in that pic. Yeah. Oh God, this OP is full of details. It's awesome. Yeah. There was a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to the first season, they gave you a lot in the opening credits. And then when something changed, you're like, what? What was it's like and like I said, we haven't gotten into the regular episode and we're an hour into this review already. So basically that was the end of the opening. Once again, not interrupting the show with the Gunplay advertisement because that's at the end. I appreciate that. So yeah, basically we open on Freddie waking up late.
Yeah.
Be a thing he does. He comes downstairs and I think he says good morning and she's like, it's not really morning anymore. He's like, what? I was supposed to help Jed get his stuff together, or as I wrote, Lion-O. He was supposed to help Lion-O. And then, after they bicker for a second, between him and Maya, by the way, Jed does come in basically to say his goodbyes and the last couple of little things. And it is nice to see him again, considering the last time we saw him, he was turning pink and trying to comfort some children. But basically Freddie's like, hey, I'm up, I can help you now. And he's like, it's all good. Stola helped.
Stola helped.
Fucking Stola. See, for me, what happens in the next little chunk is a whole lot of retelling of stuff that we got way too much of in the first season, especially in regard to all of the kids' relation to each other and stuff, the way Stola acts and things. And you see him like picking up crates and stuff like that, helping the 2 idiots load up the car. Because once again, we never remember their names. They're just idiot 1 and 2.
I don't even have their names written down, but Maya, I think, does mention that they come from a different village that was destroyed by the One Eyes.
Yeah, so I think that's true both for those guys and Stola, because he's clearly not related to anybody there, because there's no one in this village who looks like him, that kind of gray wolf thing.
Never thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah, so I believe he's part of that same thing, because he recollects it here in a little while. But yeah, they do talk about the fact these other guys. But basically, I wrote here, you know, they discussed that she's like, "You're not going to let Stola join you, are you?" And he's like, "No, I'm not going to do that. Stop bugging me." Basically, he didn't say that because he's too nice, but he, you know, he takes lunches that she has packed because they're clearly running over to the base and stuff.
Yeah.
And once again, Stola's only focused. He wants to get in the fight. He wants to be part of the resistance, and he's just always nagging or always trying to find a way in. And what's kind of funny is that like we see a lot of characters. So this is 2 years ago in time, because everything we'll see that happens is all taking place at the end of the first series, like regular Build Divers. So all of this happened 2 years ago, roughly, assuming time passes the same between both planets. And virtually every character is exactly the same as we find them, with the exception of where they are in their own battles, you know. So Stola's only doing the one thing. The other kids are just being kids. Jurek is focused on the crops, and Freddie's focused on doing the temple and finding out stuff like that, and not really being a part of anything else except when he has no choice. Not that he doesn't like helping out. In fact, he nags the other kids, especially Stola, who will run off, or that other kid who just goes and fucks off under a tree. And so at this point, Freddie goes back to the temple, checking out the stone, doing all the thing. And then he just ends up, because he's tired, falls asleep right next to it. Yay. Carlos O. Perez, I'm going to lose my mind if Gundam pulled a Dragon Ball and revive everyone who died. It's possible that a lot of people might come back due to the fact we already know there's a mountain where souls of the dead seem to come back. So we'll see what happens. I miss Jed. I want him back. We all missed Lino. He was great. But he falls asleep, and he has a dream of Maya yelling at him for falling asleep.
That's so hilarious.
Yeah, and so I think it's funny. So this is an odd reaction. I'm not going to lie. So assuming he's laying down in his own bed, and Maya, who's his older sister, is above him, yelling in his face for falling asleep, and then his reaction into, no, it's okay. What is he doing? Like, no, it's okay. I'm sorry. I'll take care of it. And then he's like feeling around. I'm like, what is he doing in his dream? Weird, Freddie. It's fucking weird. But he ends up reaching much further away than possible from the position he's in. I didn't screenshot that, but no. If you look at where he's laying, there's no way he touches where he does on the stone. He's too far away. He would be much lower on the stone than where he touches it. Just maybe minor animation errors. So he touches the stone just the right way with the specific graze to activate.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't get is like, how is it this time that he's able to activate it when all the other times he doesn't? And the only thing I can think of is it has something to do with the fact that he's asleep, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, I bet it's the REM sleep.
Say again?
I bet it's the fact that he's in REM sleep.
And
think of how it is when you dive. It's basically kind of like being asleep to some degree.
It works a lot like dreams. Okay.
It works a lot like dreams. So when he's awake and trying to activate it, he can't, or at least he can't initialize it. So
his dreams are tinged purple, by the way.
Yeah, I did notice that. That was very interesting. And every time he has these dreams, it is, because it does happen a couple times. But so he activates the thing. It pulls up a screen, which is crazy. And then, hold on, I have to skip ahead. There we go. Oh, yeah, I have to go back to the thing. I forgot screen share. It's not automatic. There we go. It scans his ass. so that
We
it can.
see his character model.
We see his character model, so to speak, and does scan him head to toe.
Well, actually, like, I'm fairly certain that's like the character model that they use to keep everybody on model, because the way he's standing there with one arm out, that's how they draw characters like that.
Yeah. Tablet powered by dreams and thoughts of anime waifus. It's his sister.
But doesn't make her not a waifu.
Yeah.
Just it'd be weird if it was his waifu. It's still possible because it's Japan, but
hold on. Arturo had an interesting point.
Puppy people wear boots that look like paws.
Oh yeah, if you actually when it zooms in on his feet.
Can you make? I can't see his feet.
No. The image right after this, it starts at his feet where it's scanning him. I don't have that, but he's right. It does look funny. Tablets powered dreams, thoughts of yeah. Shut up. The stone scanned him, gave him Code Lyoko vibes. But I thought it was interesting. So it scans him, and then stuff happens. So there's a lot of stuff happening there. So it does actually open up a ton of windows, all looking into GBN. And
he doesn't have pop-up blocker installed.
No, literally seeing everything. But I like the fact we got like a Coliseum. We see some gun tanks of different generations. I'm not sure what this brown thing off to the left is.
Yeah.
I can't tell just by what it is. It almost looks like...
Oh, Mogwanok, I bet.
It might be a Mogwanok. Yeah, judging by that shield, that's definitely a Mogwanok.
Because I know we see Mogwanoks later in one of the...
Yeah, they reused some of this footage again.
Got a Destiny and a Freedom.
Strike Freedom. That's a Strike Freedom. It's got gold frame.
I can't tell the gold from here, but...
Yeah, sorry, it's not big enough, but then we just see different battles going on, rocket launches, and I can't tell what that black-headed Gundam up at the top corner is.
Yeah.
I just now noticed that, to be totally honest.
It's very distinctive looking, but I don't recognize it.
Yeah, me neither.
What's a Gundam that has a black head?
Death Scythe.
Yeah, that could be a Death Scythe.
Could be a Death Scythe. Puppy people is our colloquial term. Is somebody not understanding what we mean by puppy people?
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if Hiruto called him a dog in the first episode. Yes, he did. He didn't know if he was a dog or a dragon, which was weird. Since we get a replay, sees Patrick. This is God. Shut up. We're not there yet. Stop getting ahead. Anyways, where is my thing? Okay, so he says battles happening everywhere, and then we see our Patrick cameo for the episode. Yeah, is he the creator?
No, this is Patrick.
It's like I should have. Damn it! I should have fucking put that meme in there. I forgot. I'm sorry. It reminded me. So this one down here made a meme, which was fantastic, but nobody seemed to come up with before him. Wait, it's not the Silver Tower in that shot. No, it's not the Silver Tower. It's something launching. Why would Bandai make the Mogwanok in the first place? I don't know. Oh, could have been a Spiegel Gundam Spiegel.
Okay.
Oh yeah, then he watched season 1. I just figured that's what he did. He went all the way back and rewatched a good chunk of Build Divers. Creator Patrick. He is the architect of his own luck, I guess. He's the luckiest creator ever. And then I see, I guess there's a thing where you see we actually see the group of Mogwanoks. We see a GNX, which was right after this, so I assume that this Patrick is piloting that GNX, or Jinx, as I call it. And then it bounces around just window to window, and he's like, wow. And then we see this come up on the screen. We see weekend event, force match, Build Divers versus something in Japanese. I don't remember what it was. But essentially, it's that battle where they finally decided to come together as a team, and they just upgraded to the 00 Diver Ace. I bet Patrick is just the CEO or an actual creator of GBN. It's his advantage, Jinx, probably. Was that an advanced Jinx? I thought it looked more like a GNX4. Either ways. But he also brings up a point that he said the creator is using sacred vehicles to fight. Or not vehicles, vessels.
Sacred vessels.
I put vehicles, and then I corrected the other one later to vessels. But then you get to see, of course, this overlay pop up in the alien language. Which, due to this guy, I spent many hours last night learning this language. So
we found a Rosetta Stone, basically, and we'll probably get to that.
I will get to it more later, but I don't think you sent me this one initially. Did I translate this one? No, I'm trying to remember.
I think I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I sent you the picture, but I know I referenced it because this was the first time where I was really looking at the text. Was like, it's got to be a font or something, and I thought at first it was just translating the. I'm
trying to remember if I translated this one, and now I'm thinking I didn't. Either way, so I figured out most of the alphabet and number system in this language. It is 1-to-1 for English. You just have to determine what it is. Let me go over this one. If I remember, this might be what I wrote down here. Oh, this was the first one you sent me. So, guys, what this one says, which is really interesting, is this is Google Translate. They want to know if you want to translate it to your language. Basically, this says command language tuning, okay or cancel. So if you see the thing there to the left, that is okay, because he actually flips it twice in this episode after I did the rewatch. Mm-hmm. Literally, it wants to know if you want everything you see translated to your language, which is crazy.
And we think this also explains why when the bill divers with lowercase I come in, this is how they're able to understand everyone, because this system is automatically translating even for them.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or they actually are speaking the same language, but they didn't have the same letters. The fact that it's a language that is just a different font, as you put it, it's 1-for-1 English. It's not even Japanese. It's English. So there's no extra translation necessary. So we know they speak the same language as the divers who are coming in, who all seem to speak this variation of English. Because we've seen blatant English and we've seen blatant Japanese, and I think even Chinese. So this is 1-to-1 English. So they speak and understand English, but it's a completely different written language, including numbers, which I determined later on. Writers went all out with the details. And here's the thing. This is all the same language that was on Alice's consoles in the first season.
Yeah.
And if you notice the difference, all of these windows look exactly the same as the one in Alice's thing, except for the fact those were actual modular screens. But all of the details are the same. But yes, I spent hours translating everything I could find, as we'll see throughout this. So I have my cheat sheet here, which we are working on making a much better actual thing there. So aliens speak English. These do. Oh, which, by the way, I sent you the image for what Eldora looks like in their language, which is pretty cool. So that's when you get bad enough, you start writing stuff in their own language. I am. And by the way, it's the same language that's in the book, so it must be Eldoran. If Freddie understands it and reads it, it's the Eldoran language, which also further solidifies that Alice is not an alien force, but one that was from this planet.
Interesting implications there.
Had I kept reading my own notes, I would have known what I was saying without having to look at the paper like a dumbass. But here's the irony of that: it says command language tuning, and I had to translate it to no one. I had to put that in English to know if I wanted to actually see it. That's true dedication. It was fun though. It's like I used to have some good code breaking skills back in the day. But knowing that it was 1-to-1 English and not a code made it pretty easy. Some of the other stuff, not so much. But then basically it cuts to season 1. We start seeing all recaps of season 1 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We see that battle where the double diver Ace comes through, slices that guy into an A, which I still think is the only time he does that. Oh, that's going to be his move. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. By the way, we have 17 people watching. Hey, thanks, guys.
Yay! Hello, 17 people.
Hello, 17ers. Where am I in here? Oh, yeah. And then he says, this is how Freddie met the bell divers.
The divers.
They're just not the ones that he knew.
Yeah, and then they show that shot of all of them together.
The victory.
What's that?
Their victory pose all together.
Yeah. And then after that, he's like, he says he goes there like every day to watch. And I have written down, it's like, rain, wind, bitching out my sister. It doesn't matter. He goes, he had to get there to watch himself some Gundam.
Pretty much, but
which is kind of relatable. Maybe he'd probably be afraid of them.
I don't know. But so basically, betting Alice is basically a Digimon or digital life form. There's someone who's taken physical form on Eldora, launching himself from Earth and GBN to Eldora, whereas either somehow figured out how to either make physical machines or just use that world as his map. I have evidence for other things here in a minute because I translated things. I feel very MatPat-ish. Like it's like we talked about game theory and all that stuff on one of the other live streams. Like I felt very MatPat in this, like looking at every scene, stuff like that. So, but yes, there is technology involved that is coming up. But basically, Freddie goes over the fact that he's going back there day in, day out, rain or shine or storm, which I guess was just a really windy day. And he's watching the build divers go throughout their adventures and then other people in their sacred vessels, which is interesting. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this. I didn't get a screenshot of it. Did you see the side of the book, like the spine?
It had the same sort of chevron pattern that you see on like the windows and a lot of the other
kind of
like one-eye tech like stuff.
Kind of, but it is vaguely Gundam head shaped. It's got a blue chevron, a white symbol, and then a V-fin shaped thing. It's actually very similar to the crest of the core Gundam.
Huh.
So I'll have to screenshot that later. What's the translation say in the Discord? If possible, I'm gonna get to it.
Patience.
Yeah, I need to find out what his monitor said. Here's the problem. I'll just mention this now. So a lot of the things that you see on the screen, there's a lot of text at the bottom, and it's a lot of pink letters, and they're changing every like second or two. I did a lot. I tried to translate several of them, and they are random letters and numbers. There's no direct meaning to those things. But a lot of the things you see on screen or literally on the screens are translatable, including what will be coming up here in a while. Do we know if time's passing? It would have to be. Because if there was any kind of time compression, then they could be in their dive units for God knows how long, to them, and then be coming out. Presumably, it'd have to be like 1-to-1 Earth time, or else.
Yeah, or if it was something where like they were out there for a while and then they come back, and it's only been a few minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
then they would know something weird was happening.
There's no time dilation that we can see at all.
May in particular, I think, would be very sensitive to that kind of thing.
Because she would definitely be able to tell the difference. Because GBN time is Earth time, as far as we can tell. Despite whatever world they might be on, it's all set to Earth time. So I'm not going there, Hida. It's a silly comment. Anyways, where am I here? Okay, so he's sitting there and he's flipping through the book, and he's like, "Ooh," something like that. And then he flashes back to his grandpa or dad. Dad. It's got to be a dad, right?
Dad, I believe.
Yeah, that's Maya's dad, so that's his dad. And he's talking about, I don't want you going to that temple and playing around because
It's not a playground.
It's not a playground. The one day the creator will descend there again. And he's like, oh, the creators are going to come back one day. What if I could just summon them? And this is how plots happen. It's literally like, hey, you should turn the page. It might advance the plot. It's very Deadpool. Jerry said, well, in season 1, they said it had 3 days before the first fight, and it took 3 world days. Yeah, I mean they know that it's the same thing. Still going on about Gundam Tristan. Betting Alice is going to try to attack the Earth, and Green Armor Corps Gundam is going to chase him in the final battle. Who knows? Either way. Where are we? Oh, yeah, this is where he goes back to groping the stone. I like his very anime reaction to his frustration.
Yeah.
Actually, I literally wrote down, then he gets anime upset when he can't figure it out. Well, it's funny because the stone literally is just a stone. There's no buttons. There's nothing on it to interact with, just some lightly carved stuff. And he's just touching it in different places. And then everything else, like he's figured out really quickly that the screen in front of him can be touched, or at least one of them can be interfaced with. So it's interesting that he figures that he can manipulate the stone to get the screen to go. And I'm trying to remember if this is the image or a different one. So there's one, it might be coming up later. I didn't make a note of it, but I remember this. So it shows him with the screens around him, and then it does that zoom out full room shot, and there's no screens. And he's like on the other side of the stone. I'm like,
I don't remember.
Only in his head. It's like it once again, because it was the exact same shot from the beginning of that wide open shot of the room. It's the exact same shot. So I bet they just pulled it in there, and it's a matte painting or whatever, and they're just animating Freddie in it. So versus walking into the room versus doing whatever around the stone, it's only on screen for a couple seconds. But I'm like, wait, where did the screens go? The budget for this episode is where the animation expressions, kind of. They're very expressive in this one. All right, do you want to take over from here? Do you know where we're at?
Let's see. He almost falls asleep again, but here's the ending of Bill Divers, where Riku charges up to save Sarah.
Yes, that same speech about
and he's moved to tears, and he's like, so strong, how cool.
Pretty much.
And after that, he starts heading back, and he's looking through his book, and then he finds Stola playing War.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if any of you've watched Evangelion, but this makes me think of a particular scene in the Eva TV show where it's one of the times Shinji's run away and he encounters one of his friends running around in the middle of the field playing soldier.
Yeah, I did want to say one thing. So
Go for it.
When Freddie is watching that final moment, especially when Riku and Sarah reunite, which, by the way, we got to relive that moment where Ogre and Riku took down the champ, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, always cool.
It was still pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. As bad as that series was, that was still a good moment. But I literally wrote in my notes, he's way more excited and involved than the actual people watching the anime were.
I like that scene.
At that point, I think most people had already dumped out, because the first series was very much not appreciated, not even by us. But
I mean, I kind of liked it, and that was part of the reason we thought about doing this review series together because we knew we were thinking you were gonna be kind of negative on this series, and I'd be the positive one, and then we both ended up liking it.
Well, because remember at the beginning of season 1, or rather the first part of this,
Yeah.
It started out rough, and we still haven't gotten Par's backstory yet. That means we have to wait till this fucking season to get Par's actual backstory. I still want to know, because he got blanket character development that was solved in 2 episodes, and then never really retread again, except for he occasionally has flashbacks and can't do the thing. Maybe the people, maybe puppy people were the target demographic of Built Diapers. Very much so. But yeah, back to Stola playing war in that little field. And you can tell he's somewhere out from the village and close-ish to the temple, so where he won't be noticed. But then the fact that he's actually got a real weapon on him, like...
Yeah, he almost takes off Freddie's head.
He do that thing where he turns around, doesn't know he's being watched, and now he's pointing the weapon directly at his friend. He goes, ah! Freddie. And he's like...
Freddie isn't moved at all.
No, Freddie's kind of a badass to some degree. Stola seriously at all. He really is not a fan of Stola because he keeps bailing on the work. He's always just focused on the wrong things. I mean, Freddie is what it is. Freddie's a hard worker, but he gave himself a mission. But he's literally like, hey, why do you have that? And he's like, well, Jed told me to get rid of it because he didn't need it anymore. I'm guessing they got a better weapon, and it's an older one. And he said, well, if he just told me to go and put it away in storage, then he won't miss it. So he's sort of playing with a gun.
Yeah, this is not a good message for the kiddies, guys. Don't play with guns, children. They're not toys. I'm
guessing it's out of energy. I think that's why Jed probably didn't need it. It's like, it's dead, and I've got bigger guns. Which
one would hope, at least.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, clearly he would have probably shot Freddie in the face. I had a nice typo here that Google didn't seem fit to fix, and it said, he stumbles upon Stola. And then he's basically, the way I looked at it, like, so the whole first chunk when they address Stola, even when Jed talked to him, he's like, look, I need you to be here and do this thing, but you're still a kid. And this very much proves how much of a kid he still is, because 1, he's hiding what he's doing. 2, he's playing like a child playing war, playing battle.
Yeah.
Like the same way you would. He's like, oh, that was a good shot, but you missed me, that kind of stuff. And like, it just really highlights it that like he really is a kid, and he does, even while he wants to get in there and basically like avenge people, is really all he really wants to do. Which he might still turn on them later. We'll see what happens. If given the chance, I think he might. But he's a kid about it. And then his reaction to Freddie's like, look, hey, don't tell anybody else you're doing this, okay? And Freddie's like, fine, whatever. He's just like very nonchalant. I'm not going to tell anybody, moron. Just seriously doesn't take Stola seriously. I think at some point it's going to like come to blows between them this season.
That'll be an interesting fight to see.
Yeah, literally, like Freddie just isn't taking, like, basically taking the same approach that Jed did. No, we need you here. Because even when they had that last season and Jed's like, look, I need somebody who can take care of the people when I'm gone, waving that death flag around.
Yeah.
And then immediately after.
Yeah, it's like the conversation never happened to him, and he sneaks away and has to basically get yelled at quietly by Jed.
Yeah.
And oh man, Stola is not one of my favorite people in this, but I don't think right now he's supposed to be.
Okay, so Carlos says, I don't like that Jed let Freddie into the action, but not Stola. Freddie put himself into the action. This episode shows you how Freddie got into the action. He's the one who found the book. He's the one who has done the thing. He's the one who interfaced with the thing. Nobody else was bothering with that. So he literally becomes like the, for lack of a better term, ambassador.
Yeah, so the liaison.
He's their liaison. He's the reason they're there, literally. If he hadn't done
and
what
I think Jed even says like he didn't want him to be fighting in this, but particularly since Freddie, I think, is supposed to be even younger than Stola is.
I think he's like 1 year. I think he's 1 year older or 1 year younger.
Oh, okay.
Third round
But
about.
yeah, but Jed, I think in one episode does say something about like that he didn't want him to be involved in the fight
He
because
didn't
he's
want.
just a child.
Yeah, but the thing is, that Freddy's up until like near the end, he was never involved in the battles. He was always off with everybody else while the divers did their thing. It's only near the end where he would happen to be in the cockpits with people and going into battles. But one time they didn't know they were ending up in a battle. He was with, and then they did that. But also Freddy is definitely not childish. He's
Yeah,
takes on so much responsibility versus Stola, who
I mean he is sneaking away to watch mecha anime, but
yeah, it's after he kind of had the idea that this is important. I think something about that once he realized what was going on to some degree, he's like, this is important, you know. And then of course he realized that he can summon the creators, then that means something. Freddie constantly looked death in the eyes and just said, "It's a freak phone. Here's the party freak." Right. That's a quote. Jed left Freddie in because he was a connection to the Gundams. Yep, pretty much. I guess Freddie understands the weight of the danger. Yep. Freddie and Stola would resolve their differences with a complete battle. That would be interesting. Freddie in one and Stola in the other. That's actually the final battle in this because they're the Naruto and Sasuke of the. But yeah, basically. And this is where he goes to leave, and then Stola hears something and tackles him to the ground. He's like, shut up. And then they hide under a rock as some interesting tentacles start coming through.
I'm super curious what that is because they obviously know what it is. They refer to it as a small one eye.
Yeah, so it's a scout of some sort. And the different types of tentacles, because they were like the forked kind, and there's a couple other ones, and it looks like it's got at least 6 legs, maybe more, because they kept like overlapping, and maybe it's a couple of them. But
and it doesn't look like anything I've seen in Gundam before.
No, and that's what's interesting. I don't know if we'll ever see it because it's a scout, and they know what it is, like you said. So they hide in silence under a rock till it's clear, and then they haul ass back to the village and report what happened to the elders. Yeah, betting Stola betrays them to become the soldier he wants to be. Yeah, he probably sides with Moran at some point, who is still somewhat against the Gun's blood, the divers, even though he helped them by giving them the Dark Hawk amulet last time. Go back to our old reviews, guys, if you haven't seen it. But this is where you get that backstory where Stola talks about what happened to his village and that other one, and how one of these scouts showed up, and then a couple days later, a huge one-eye army came through and wiped out the entire village. Mm-hmm. So they're like, basically, yeah, we got to get on guard here, because if they're this close, then they're probably going to find us. And then I wish I could remember. Next time I got to write down the name of their dad, the village elder guy.
I just have him listed as elder. Yeah.
Not to be confused with old Jirik. This guy's just the elder. And they basically said, look, we need to contact the resistance and get us some help. Who wants to do it? Stola, I'll do it. Shut the fuck up, said the other guy.
I want to throw my life away.
Yeah, I'm good. And
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, and then exactly. And then God damn it, it's not going to end well for him. Like if the story was reversed for the Hunger Games, and the younger sister did it. Anyways, so they assigned to that guy number 6, and they go run off, and they basically put the village on lockdown. Look, nobody can go anywhere, especially the kids. I like that. He's just like
hint, hint, nudge, nudge, looking at you.
Oh, that's a good point, Gold Cat. That was definitely a War of the Worlds moment. When the like explorer searching the house,
like the tripods.
Yeah, that's super War of the Worlds. You're right. That's good.
It also made me think of the scene in Lord of the Rings Fellowship, I think specifically, where the hobbits are hiding underneath a
The
tree
law.
branch as the kings ride by.
Yeah, and then the one, yeah. Where's Freddie's mom? Don't ask. This is a Disney movie. At least one parent is dead.
Yeah.
If not, yeah. Oddly enough, only one. Yeah, we don't know. Or we're just pretending that Maya is his sister. But oh, that was the answer there. Dead. It seems pretty obvious. Okay, and hope the Resistance get their own mobile suits. I don't know how that would happen. Plus, there's no Resistance left. They were all. Jira is probably like the 5th oldest person in a village. The only person prefix of old. Yeah, he's referred to as the old guy, and I don't even think he's the oldest person there. Is the Resistance going to be like the Resistance in Star Wars, obliterated in one movie and back in the next? No. I think we're going to learn that. I mean, they'll probably regain some, but we'll talk theories near the end. But Freddie basically dives back into the book. And this is a cool instance because we see some like charts and graphs and some
Yeah.
This was one of the first things.
Yeah, that's the one I pointed out to you because you see, because he's talking about Eldora being round, and you see the moon and a sort of a dash line, and then there's a dotted line even further out.
Yeah. So
with notations on it as well, but we can't quite make them out, right?
Well, what it's clearly marking is the orbits of things. So that's the moon is orbiting that far out, and there's obviously something else that could be that we're not seeing on the page. But if you look, I'm trying to remember which symbol it is. Okay, so as we already know, I've tried translating stuff from the book, and I have yet to find anything that's a solid word. Some of them are either too hard to read or it's gibberish. Like they're just random letters and stuff. But on this page, and I don't remember which one it is, it might be the one that's the moon's orbit ring, with the arrow. Either that one said moon or something that like moon, or it's one, you see the one outside of the moon, like the little cluster of letters that's outside the moon's orbit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that says moon. One of them does. But it's hard to read. I think that one says moon, which is weird. But given that's that outer ring that we don't know what may or may not be out there because, well, the book's hard to see. And by the way, if you look at the other page, I think they're denoting a solar system.
Yeah.
Interesting. However, it's only showing like 4 rings. So there might only be like so many planets, or there's more stuff in orbit around Eldora. But yeah, he does say, does this mean Eldora is around when you see it from the sky? And then, of course, when he does get to space later on and he actually sees it, so that's what Eldora looks like. And I love the fact, once again, that was the only time they found out that planet wasn't Earth. Alice took the path of least resistance, waiting for Freddie to deck Stola in the face. Yep.
Yeah.
They'll fight eventually. Why do we gain more people as the stream goes on? We're up to 20. It's like, I mean, I'm glad. I guess people just pop in later. They're like, nothing happens in the first hour and a half. They just mumble. No, we've gone over so much, guys. It's ridiculous. So for anybody just popping into the stream, say hi. And, of course, go back and rewatch the beginning later on. But I like this image, the fact they took so long. So whoever wrote this book is aware of the advanced technologies and things outside of the planet. So, like, this is an ancient book written by the people who built Alice, basically.
Yeah.
And since this is the first time we're seeing this book, I bet it's going to come up a lot later. Like, Freddie's usefulness is going to be like, hey, I've got this book with a whole lot of answers in it. That's how I brought you here, So, this
would be cool if they actually if Bandai actually made a copy of this book as like as a P Bandai piece or something like that.
It would be great if they actually made it legible. But I think it's interesting because this is actually where a commercial break would be. because you see the logo pop up in the bottom corner and then it fades out. Like, hey, that's an actual commercial break. I was like, it's the first time I've actually seen one or paid enough attention. It's been hovering around 20 watching for a while. I see the numbers on a slight delay, but yes.
Something I'd like to mention is I think part of why Freddie's also looking through the book right now is he's trying to take his mind off the fact that the One Eyes are super close by and could just, obliterate him and everything he knows and loves.
Yeah, that's true. He's already in this book. He's reading it like all night long, which is one of the things that they come up with, at some point. Like, what were you doing? It's like, reading, ? But yeah, so we cut to the next morning where Maya yells and wakes him up and he falls out of bed.
Not that he has very far to fall. The beds are like super low to the ground.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. This thing coming up here in a second. Sorry. But the book falls to the ground, opens to a random page, and he says, like, this is, and then like stops, like whatever he was saying. Let's see. Is this, do I have the picture up? Yes, this. Okay, so this was the other image you sent me.
Yeah, because when he was like, this is, and then he runs off as apparently this is something important. I was like, okay, saving that screenshot.
Yeah. So I tried translating a lot of things on this page.
Did you bring it up?
Huh?
Are you bringing it up on the screen?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I forgot. I turned off the screen share for a second. Sorry, guys.
There we go.
There we go. So we see this page, and of course he says this is. And there's a lot of gibberish. Like, see the main line. Like, I tried translating that short little chunk there that's under the brackets.
It's got an A in it. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, there's a lot of A's. A is the easiest letter to recognize in their language, by the way, because it looks like an A. But this is one of the ones that is just a bunch of gibberish. It's just random letters strung together. However, the larger letters written like down near the bottom there. Where did I write that down? I got it here somewhere. But oh, never mind. I think I have an image of it. Give me a second. Do I? Yeah, this. So this is almost a translation to something. So it's possible there's something there. I can't. It looks like the letters before that could be D and A, because D looks like an A, but with the bottom finished like a triangle. So I don't know. There might be something there. I haven't figured that out yet. Hi.
Yeah. Wife's going to bed. Good night. Love you.
Night, Joan. Gaia Gundam. What Gundam? See, now they're just talking about what would Jerry pilot. But yeah, so I tried translating a lot on this page. That's the only things that came up that look like real words.
That looks like it's got to be like part of a name or something, like somebody on the staff maybe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you said that before, and that's possible. But like, it's hard to tell sometimes because some things have no spaces, which means it's just run-on letters.
Yeah,
that has an obvious space there. And if it was two M's, I would definitely say that's a command of some sort. But whatever he saw, especially this bracket thing, is probably why he freaked out. But that word I couldn't translate. But there was one. Let me double check here. Okay, because I told you, and I don't remember which image it was. So one of these images from the book, I definitely translated the word Earth last night. And I don't remember which page it was, but I definitely did. So
was that the one where there's a picture of a hand and then like
I'll let you know when we get
chevron, and the other, like one page had a picture of a hand, the other page had like four chevrons going up, down, left, right.
Yeah, let me double check that, but quiet phone. Let me double check that because I'm pretty sure that was what it was. I think it was the hand image. Oop, I went the wrong way. And I don't know if I screenshotted that one here in a minute, but yeah, that was it. So it's the one that's coming up later. I don't know that I put it on the screen, but it's got the hand and it's got a little square thingy and all kinds of things like that, and it almost definitely says Earth underneath it. So that's an interesting one coming up later. Gun tank from Thunderbolt, Hiroto's own planet system. This is command. Yeah, but command's with 2 M's, and they don't really have that many typos so far. They're still talking about what would Freddie pilot. But I found this interesting. So after he reads this, he just says, fuck it, I'm going to go to the temple, runs out, grabs I'm guessing that's an Inga berry.
Yeah, be careful trying to pronounce that word.
That's a very troublesome word. I'm just going to be honest. They did not consider the rest of the world when they came up with that particular word. So he just runs out, and Maya's like, the hell? He's supposed to do whatever. And the dad's like, what's wrong? Well, Freddie's running off to the temple again. Oh, well, whatever. And then
they're about to like berate him about it or something, and then they get interrupted.
They get interrupted by the couple elders come up with a report that the eastern village is currently under attack or was attacked, and that's really close.
It's like the shit, it has hit the fan.
It's like the fan has shit upon it. Oops, I forgot how to English for a moment. It's okay. Well, look how old the text is. It probably uses pre-2000s Bandai English. Well, considering that the computer system is also the same language written probably at the same time, odds are not so many things. But Earth is spelled out really well, so that's the funny part. Daizuna Kamen, maybe it's a name to someone command line to activate something. That's what I was thinking. And like I said, had they put 2 M's side by side, I would have guessed that. It is also possible that's a different letter. There are 3 letters I could not determine what they were, and that's B. Well, I think I know what B is. So B, J, and what's the other letter?
Q.
Q. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. If I get more language, if I have to find something I can translate from to get there. So it is what it is. So he runs off to the temple, but as he's running to the temple, he hears does he hear a noise, or does he just react to something that isn't there? Because he like freaks out and he's like, oh, is that another small one eye? But like, I'm
guessing he hears something. I mean, he does have puppy ears, so
yeah, that's possible. Yeah, because like I swear nothing happens on the screen, and he freaks out, which is funny because like it ends up being a good freak out, sort of, except for the fact that he trips and falls on his face right after that. Conveniently, as the actual one eyes that we saw quite a while ago decide to roll through. So those were already far enough out that they could see the temple prior to this. And that was months ago. Actually, it could have been nearly 2 years ago. And now they're rolling through again. So maybe the scout found the life forms, but they didn't before. So if the same group of tanks, they go past, and he starts yelling at them. So this is one thing that's a little bit different between him and other people. He tried to stop them from heading towards.
Yeah, because he's looking at it, and it's like they're heading straight to the village. I got to do something to get their attention.
Okay, he says it was a noise. Maybe I just didn't hear it. I didn't have my good headphones on, so it's possible it's a sound my computer can't make, or my phone for that matter. And I love the fact he chucks a rock at it, like just stones.
He chunks some small rocks, and then he tries to pick up the big rock.
Yeah.
And then he falls over, and that is when they turn to notice him. And when they did that, my first reaction was like, did you guys hear a pratfall?
Yeah, I'm like, literally, he's screaming at them. No reaction. His rocks don't come anywhere near them because they're definitely way too far away at that point. Him yelling after he falls down gets their attention. They're like, oh, that was a noise. It's like they're literally like, that sounds like a puppy person.
Somebody using slapstick over there.
Yeah. I said that's why they were close to the temple. Don't attack the ruins. Yeah. It's possible the One Eyes were looking for the Shenron dragon thing. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, so far The one I don't seem to have a goal except for exterminating anything sentient, um, seemingly, because they just wipe out the villages or resistance.
Yeah, I mean, and
Whatever.
we're not even really 100% certain why they are wiping out villages either. Now that I think about it.
Well, if we go back to the discussion they had with Alice, he's basically seemingly acting like an antivirus software, and anything he perceives as bad to the thing he's
Mhm.
protecting gets wiped out. So he somehow got to the point, and I remember I posited this last time, is that he was meant to protect the world, got corrupted by something, probably
Yeah.
brake decals, um, given the pink nature of everything. Odds are he got corrupted by the use of brake decals and his connection to GBN, and forgot that he's supposed to be protecting the planet, not attacking it. So, but then
Not
again,
blowing up huge swaths of it.
well, because if you recall, he had to turn the moon to face it to shoot it. Not 100%, or not like a 180, but it wasn't aimed at the planet initially. So it's
He also had to
possible
turn off various protections
he had to
to
turn off the shield protection on the planet, which meant that that city was meant to be protected. Odds are he was supposed to be protecting the life forms on the planet, not killing them. But it would make sense that they don't attack the ruins because it's probably registered as part of their own thing, you know.
Mhm.
But I love the fact that he's like basically, oh shit, what do I do now? He's like, okay, I got their attention. Great, now what? And that reminds me of some movie, and I can't remember what it is, but it's a very similar situation. Like, hey, over here. Oh, good, we got their attention. Now what do we do? I don't know. I only got to that part of the plan. You know, the ruins could predate Alice. More than likely, it's all around about the same time. Yeah. Aliens made GBN or have infected it somehow. We'll see how that all ties in later, obviously. Um, but basically, he runs to the temple because at this point, he's like, shit, what do I do? It's like, I'm already heading that way and it's the closest cover, anyways. Um, and he's already wants to summon the creators to fight the One Eyes. So he already has this idea. But it's just like, okay, now we're in overtime because I found that one, not sudden death, not overtime, because he saw whatever that page said to him, which clearly didn't make any sense to me trying to translate it. Oh no, here's the point. Okay. Oh yeah, we also this one of the few times we see through the One Eye's perspective when it sees him running away, which I thought was interesting. You actually see the little targeting thing follow him. Same kind of interface. Let you know that that's all tied together. This was the shot I was talking about. So when he runs in, there's no screens on, and that's the wide shot. But when he gets there and he's touching the thing, the screens are already on. So that's just pointing that out.
Now, something that I noticed is when he's trying to run to the temple, he trips, rolls down a cliff, and we see the book go flying.
Oh, really? I didn't. I guess.
And I don't think we ever see him with that book during season 1 of this.
Well, maybe he picked it
So
back up. I mean, you're right, though. You're right. We never see him in the book. He never references the book. But if it fell out of his bag, but then again, he's always got his bag on him in season 1. So maybe he had it and just wasn't looking at it or showing it to anybody else. Because I don't know that anybody else knows that he has that book. Because I figured like the elders would want to take that from him and study it if they knew about it, right?
Or at the very least, get it out of the hands of a child.
Yeah, from Eldora's perspective, humans are the aliens. Yep. Temple is in ruins. What could have happened? It's super old. It's super old and made of stone. Odds are shit just happens. Not to mention it's kind of in the desert. A lot of wind damage and whatnot. But he basically rubs all over the stone and he gets a new screen that pops up. Which is this one, which by the way, you missed this in your original screenshot you sent me.
What did I miss?
Okay, so you sent the one that comes up after this. You didn't send.
Oh, okay.
I found this one on my rewatch. So basically, he starts yelling into the thing for help. Is that the? Oh, that's the wrong. Sorry, looking at the wrong translation here. I go over here. And so he yells into the thing, and eventually we get to the point that we see the divers from episode 1 of last season in the alleyway. They hear him yelling for attention. Parr comes up. He scares the shit out of Parr.
Yeah.
Finally connects.
And we see this all from the point of view of Freddie, as it were, because basically it's the camera looking through the monitor, the pop-up screen, where they originally were looking at Freddie. Yes. And I think it's really cool to see the other side of that.
Yeah, all of this part where we see the other side of this conversation is great because they have their same conversation. Do we go in there and help? Well, look, here's a huge list of enemies. Cosme's like, I'll take 30, you guys get the rest. And so while they're talking it through, this screen pops up with all 4 divers and this prompt that comes up on the screen. And this is the one that I didn't translate until earlier when I was rewatching. So at this point, he's put in a request for help. These guys are now on the opposite side. So guess what this says? Not you, I'm asking them. I already told you. You probably don't remember.
I probably don't remember.
Yeah.
I see the A's.
Yes. So, and by the way, this is where you pointed out that is May's name on there. And May's name is just May. And yes, it is definitely M-A-Y. That's how it's spelled on everything with her name on it. But basically what this states is status awaiting response. So these are the people.
Oh, wow.
They're waiting for the response from them to see if they're going to come help. So this system is tied to GBN directly.
Yeah. So, and this, well, I guess it was the next screen was basically sort of the Rosetta Stone that we were.
Yeah, that was the Rosetta Stone. But basically, guys, if you go through this here, hold on. I think I got to check my notes, make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself here. I'm trying to remember here. Oh, did I miss something? Oh, I did. Okay. I forgot to, sorry. There was a screen before this. It's the one that I screwed up. So I forgot to get a screenshot of it. There is one that comes up before he starts yelling, and it's one that's actually very important because of what it said. And it was one that we didn't catch. That's the one I skipped. I'm sorry. And it's another command one, and it says command, voice, and then blank. You can't see the next thing, but I bet it says voice channel open. And then below that, it has the OK or cancel, and he hits OK. So he actually opens up a voice channel to find somebody to help him. And then this happens. Sorry, I skipped that, and I didn't get a screenshot. Is this where we find out that there was a major scientific discovery that possibly involved aliens and he used it to make a game again? The game is the way they communicated with the aliens? Maybe. But yeah, so there was a thing before this. I'm sorry, I forgot to get that screenshot in here. And it does say command, voice, and then you can't see what else it says. It's just cut off. But he does have to hit OK. So get to this point. It comes up the thing. And then as they're discussing it, Freddie's still panicking because One Eyes are coming. And they're talking through it. And then, of course, Kazumi, they're like, wait, are you sure? And then Kazumi hits OK on the other side of the screen. And then we get the next screen, which is this one. So this was the one that you were like, basically, we need to translate this. So this is the very important screen because of what it says. So we already know all the info down below is their diver name, their actual name, and their diver number. This thing is actually, this whole page right here is how I got most of their alphabet and numbers.
Yeah, thanks to Parr having a long-ass name.
So by knowing Parr's name, I got most of the alphabet. By finding from season 1 Kazumi's diver number, I got most of the numbers and then figured out the rest. So what this screen says is what's so super important to this series and what's happening on Eldora. It says Incarnation System Startup, Organic Life Forms 4. This is a system that literally can create new life forms from somewhere else.
Yeah, incarnation system. When you told me that, I kind of got chills.
Yeah.
Because that is a very interesting and specific way of phrasing this.
Yeah.
And I'm the implications for it are very interesting.
So
Because to me, it almost implies like this is something that has been done before, which I mean, I guess it has, because we know that Sid came in sometime before all
Sid has been through this.
so it feels, and so it feels like this is like they're making new heroes or something like that, or they're bringing in heroes of the past or something. It has a very sort of like mystical connotation to it almost.
Well, the other thing is something I think we discussed last season, but now it makes more sense. This thing is basically a Star Trek replicator slash transporter. It's taking their information and creating a physical, real life form from that info. So this is literally creating matter from energy based on anything else. But it does recognize that they are real life forms, even May. So all of the digital information that is created is being registered as a real life form.
Oh, they're even calling May an organic life form, aren't they?
They called May an organic life form. So
I didn't even think about that when you told me this.
This system is actually registering people of GBN as organic life forms, and it's creating them. So the funny part is the May that's walking around on this planet is a real May.
Yeah.
She's a human version of herself.
And this also explains why when Hirito gets bonked on the head, he bleeds.
Back. He really bleeds, and it translates back to real life in the same way. So it's kind of what?
Oh, and I was just going to mention something that I recently rewatched everything in preparation for this. Just I had it on the English dub and in the background, but I remember when they first transfer from GBN to Eldora, or however it's pronounced. You start off with you see like this portal thing, and it starts off blue, and then suddenly shifts to the purple, and then they appear.
That makes sense because all the GBN portals are all blue, and
so it's like you see them basically kind of go from GBN to this, and it's a neat little detail.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. It says Freddie out there making Discord calls. Freddie pulled a loot box and got 2 rares and 2 commons. One Eyes are coming to collect long distance fees. 30 light years is pretty fun. Someone took alien tech and made Gundams move. I don't think it's that. I think it's a weird coincidence that GBN and this system work on the same like quantum frequency. I think this is all an accident of technology.
Yeah.
2 similar technologies tagged into each other.
I mean, and that would make sense because that's also sort of the I'm not even sure what the word would be, but that's kind of what the first Bill Diver series was about, was through an accident miracle of technology, they created life.
They created
through an accident miracle of technology, we've contacted life on another world.
Yeah. And so, and then, yes, technically I unlocked it. I unlocked everything by that one translation. Talking about bringing Jed back to life that way. Well, Jed would have to be scanned somewhere with actual consciousness to be brought back this way. So I don't know that it'll work that way. Because it's not a reincarnation, it's an incarnation.
Mm-hmm.
It can only transmit things that are alive. Summon the dragon now. Okay, so wait, they're actually jumping into new bodies. So does that mean they could create real bodies for the Elldivers? May has a real body. May has a real body here, which is why she can function outside of her Gunpla. And isn't her Gunpla. So she's actually piloting there's Gunpla May and human
Well, remember we saw Sarah piloting her
No,
Gunpla
but I'm
before.
saying in this incarnation, it's a real Gunpla, even the diver body, the doll body, but the version piloting it is a real May.
Hmm.
So this version of May could die and take real physical damage in theory. So how does that translate to an L diver? And so yes, technically speaking, this is literally turning their Gunpla into real things, which is why their shit stays, because every time they come in, they're rebuilding it. And if it doesn't break down during sign out, which is just teleporting away basically back into the system, it stays there.
And now that I think about it, we never see them do the thing that you saw Riku and them do like all the time, where
They summon it.
I get out of my Gunpla, hop down.
They don't.
And
Their
it
Gunpla
fizzles away.
exists. So their Gunpla are summoned at the temple, and they fly them wherever. They don't exist. They can't just pull up their Gunpla wherever they are. Seemingly, it seems like they always have them, or they leave them behind, or whatever. So yeah, it's very different. Yeah, basically like a big digital printer. Yeah, it's an energy matter device. Real May, too much to take. Real May can actually call the taxi now. Yep. Wait, are those even vocal patterns for waves at the bottom of the screen? Yes, that is what those are supposed to be. They're vocal patterns that they're talking. If I remember correctly, they were moving during the discussion. Is this the origin of this text, or did it appear in the beginning of the series? This text was technically anywhere in Eldora, not in GBN. Again, this is going to bring up some ethical debates over the rights of digital life forms in this world, considering they have the ability to make a tangible body. Yeah, on an alien world that no one else knows about. Like,
well, technically, everybody knows about the alien world now, just not exactly.
Jerry just brought up a point that Jerry, quit spoiling things we're not getting to. Jerry brought up a point of things that will happen later in the teaser for next episode. And yeah, Pixel Man, that's a possibility to what you said. But yeah, this whole screen changed a lot. Excuse me. Oh, that's right. I forgot. So so back to all of that. So when he's yelling for help and Par gets scared away, something they cut away from really quick is that as he's yelling for them to save him, Ichigo actually wakes up on the side where you thought he was dead. In fact, he has a huge hole in his chest. This giant beam of energy comes off him, and he gets up with a brand new mask on that they hadn't seen before. It's got horns and everything, and this long orange hair. Just seeing if anybody would get that. It's like Tron Legacy all over again. Fair point. And yeah, I should have been looking at my notes instead of talking, because I've totally got that Ichigo reference in there. Because what he was yelling was so similar. The Deskite and all that. But yeah, goddamn. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that it actually has their diver number in there. So it's interesting the system is so tied to GBN. It has their diver information and their real names, which they didn't even know their own alternate real names at this point.
And this, I think, also sort of implies that basically it is accessing their personal data. So that's also how they're getting what their size is, what all their personal stats and information.
Yeah.
Which of this Gundam and Diver series is the most good looking to you guys? 00 Ace, 00 Sky, or Core Gundam with all its armor? Ooh, I'm not a big fan of Sky.
Yeah, me neither.
But that's partly because when I built mine, something happened with the wrist, and it can't hold its weapon, and it bugs the snot out of me. To be honest, I've never built an Ace, but I do kind of like the look of it. But I am greatly enjoying the Core Gundam system.
I'm going to go with the Core Gundam stuff over the 00, either of them. I'm just not a fan of those designs. But yeah, this is, without knowing the translations of what's happening on the screen, there's not that much plot to this episode. It's like by digging just a little deeper, this goes so much further than you think. Also, we've had our tinfoil hats on since season 1 got weird.
Yeah.
But basically, Cosme hits the OK button on his side, and all the screens light up, and then suddenly they all teleport into the temple.
And then season 1 happens.
And then season 1 happens. However, before season 1 happens, they do show very clearly at a nice high shot inside the temple, there are 6 teleportation pads there. They're only using 4. So they can.
And you see when they go outside, you see that there was another pad for Gunpla, or a sacred vessel, that was destroyed.
Actually, there's 2 that are destroyed, so they can only bring 4 Gunpla in, but they could bring in 6 people, at least at this iteration. I think later on, one of them is damaged when he comes back to the temple. Yeah. By the way, this was all before episode 1 of the previous season. Like, that's a whole lot of backstory in that little section. A little deeper, you follow the rabbit hole. Is the champion coming? I don't know. I think they've sort of alluded to it, but they've also spoiled the fact that the ogre at some point will be in this. Maybe not on Eldora. That would be awesome. But they've spoiled, at least in the kit, that he's involved, because his Rise 210 is GPO2 custom. Comes in 2 versions in the kit, the one from season 1 and then the one in season 2. So he will be returning in season 2 with an upgraded version. And then Par could walk again. That'd be great. Oh yeah, technically speaking, Par gets to really walk.
Also, I'm sad that the GPO2 version is not called like the GP Oni.
Oh, yeah, that would have made way more sense.
That's a missed opportunity there.
Yeah, you're right. That's fairly well. That's a good point. But yeah, basically we got all the flashbacks from season 1 with Freddie talking over it and stuff like that, going all the way through everything. And he's praising them most of the time, except when it gets to the underwater fight, and he's like, they weren't very good then. Like, I think both of the battle and the teamwork, I think he basically said. So we get to see all that from Freddie's perspective of watching them come together as a team. And at no point did he really have that heroes moment where he quote unquote met his heroes and was disappointed. Like, like he's just always looked up to them since they've got there. But basically it comes all the way to the point where he gets to fly to space, and then they meet Alice. And then like the tone changes, especially at that point where, Alice called him that thing. Which he's speaking to the divers normally, but he treats Freddie like an animal, literally.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some racism happening there, but he didn't treat Par that way, just Freddie. Though that would be funny. Though, how funny would it be if the origin of the furry type people in GBN is due to Eldorans being viewed and not knowing what they were, so they copied them.
Or it just kept on, the furry stuff just kept showing up in the character creation stuff. They didn't know why, and they're like, screw it, it's a feature now.
Sugar, they already show the new HG of the Age Gundam base for divers. No. Yeah, I know the new champion suit. I know the Age Try, I believe is what they call it, where it's all 3 versions. I remember that kit. I forgot it up till now. You're right. No, the champion will come back at some point. I never watched these, so I'm glad I watched this one. Yeah, of all of these to watch, you watched this one. But go back and watch season 1. I'll put them in a playlist. This season's going to be in a playlist. Also, go watch all of our theory crafting for Gundam the Origin, because there's some good stuff in there too. Not just hashtag where's the dirt, although we're digging deeper and deeper into that, no pun intended. But did you guys know that when new types have that thing, it's caused by 5G towers? With all of this crap about 5G causing the beer flu, which is the most ridiculous fucking thing I've heard in the last couple of weeks. I just thought it'd be hilarious that 5G towers are what connect new types. That's how they're on the same frequency and it's so fast. It's 5G. It's Verizon's fault. This proves that the puppy people aren't. Wait, never mind. No, it doesn't. Tiger Wolf needs to come to Eldora, right? Like, imagine like a lot of these people coming there. I got some grade A Brazilian dirt for anyone looking to get some new type powers. Yeah, but you have to like expose it to space radiation. No, you really don't. Actually, no. It depends on how Amuro got his powers. I mean, if he's on a station filled with Brazilian dirt, it makes sense. But basically, you get all the way up to the point that you get the depressing part of last season when they get sucked out and there's nothing they could do about it. They're just gone. Like everything is wrecked and their heroes just abandon them. Not obviously not by choice. And so finally we get caught up to now, which is funny.
We get sad Freddie in the rain.
Sad Freddie in the rain at one point, yes. And then you see the village is still damaged. There's still some stuff smoking. Obviously, some time has passed. Freddie is actually sitting on a hill making a lantern, and I put likely for Jed.
Yeah. Yeah, I have for Jed most likely.
Yeah.
That part just, it breaks my heart.
It does. The next exchange is very heart-wrenching, as it would do. Yeah, Carl. Everybody getting ahead of me on this, on the joke. Stop getting ahead of me on the joke. But and then you actually cut to old Jurek, who's patching up a house, like just smearing some mud on the wall, and you see just passing around to the different villagers trying to make up for it. Even a woman and a baby in a crib that's just like crying. And then the Jed ghost appears because apparently they left an I off of his name. He's a literal Jedi Force ghost. Like, seriously.
And see, I wonder how this scene is supposed to be interpreted. Because yeah, it does certainly look like he's being visited by a Force ghost or a new type ghost or something like that. But it could also be this is his internal monologue trying to think of what his brother would say at a time like this.
Now, if it's a literal like Force ghost that only he can see, I'm actually okay with that, because Freddie is clearly special.
I think it'd be a little cheesy, but
hold on,
here's a chance.
But here's an important thing. So Alice reacted to Freddie as though he's a mongrel creature.
Mm-hmm.
The system in the temple only activated after it scanned him and determined that he was worthy to use the machine.
Also, something to note, when it was scanning him,
yeah,
in the process of scanning him, his picture was already there on the little window. You would think it would be like it would load up his picture or the picture would appear after it was scanned. But no, it shows his picture and then starts scanning him.
Like it's identifying that it's him?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but that would be weird. I think that was just didn't plan that animation very well. I think it was supposed to appear on the screen while scanning instead of beforehand. Like they forgot to put the transition filter on, you know, so like it was supposed to appear while scanning instead of already be on the screen because they already had animation errors. So I blame it on that. The lantern meant to be Eve. What? English better, Carlos. Gonna send to the space and be revived, the foreshadowing. But I like the idea that one, you're actually seeing them construct the lantern, which means they literally had to make all of those by hand. That's crazy. Freddie is the last hope. Yeah. Do you think that the moon cannon in Rerise is the most powerful super weapon of all Gundam series? No. It's just another giant cannon in space. It's been used so many times. Um, it's powerful, but it's probably no more powerful than the ones in Seed were, that it looks just like. Like on the inside of the cannon, looks just like the ones from Seed, to some degree. So no, it's not even that big in comparison. There's some that were way bigger than that. Because even the ones that are non-energy based, like the microwave weapons they used in Seed, were huge and incredibly powerful. Not to mention they didn't do physical destruction. They just evaporated anything with water in it, including people.
Was that the one that like made the pilots pop?
Yeah, that's a scary weapon because it leaves everything behind that doesn't melt or get microwaved. Literally, it's a giant microwave weapon. That's fucking scary. But either way, Jedi Force Ghost comes in here. So now he's not Lino anymore. He's Jedi Lino.
He's Jaga.
Oh my god, he's Jaga. I didn't even go there. It's totally Jaga, except he needs to be significantly older and have a cape. And I think technically, okay, hold on, just real quick. Side note: Jaga was wearing more clothes as a ghost than he was when he died. Put those together. I don't understand that. He gained clothes after death. Jed is Neil and Freddie is Lyle. Yeah, there's not that big of an age difference between Neil and Lyle. But you're on an interesting idea there. I mean, Unicorn literally had a colony-sized cannon. Yeah, shot across the Earth sphere in a few seconds. Yeah, I mean that wasn't their first very large weapon they could use. So, I mean, it's a thing. But basically, he. Oh, sorry, I actually wrote down what he said. He says,
"We have lost a lot of things, but we didn't lose everything. Be strong, Freddie. Surely there's something you can do."
Yeah. So, I mean, it's something he would definitely say, be reasonable and whatnot. But I still like to think that he's really sort of there. And they already believe in a reincarnation of people who are lost. So maybe there's some actual truth to that, considering the technology we're now discovering on this planet. God damn it. Freddie, the Jedi returns. Where's my notes? I got the showing off. But basically, Asha walks up on him, which is the little girl puppy person. And basically, the Bill divers aren't coming to visit us anymore. And then, she's crying. He's crying. Said, I hear that the One Eyes are says like the elders or whatever. Say the One Eyes are running rampant in the south, but they can't do anything because the resistance is gone. And then I wrote sad face.
Yeah, I have it. It's like she's scared and crying, is just looking for something to latch onto for hope.
Yeah, they have.
It feels very accurate for a young child.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's good about this is we're seeing young children's perspective. So we get a lot of dogs of war, no pun intended with this, but in Gundam there's a lot of kids who get roped into the wars and they have to become soldiers. Most of these kids are still kids in this, and they've stayed that way. I mean, Stola wants to fight. Freddie is in the fight, so to speak. Speaking of which, we haven't seen Stola in this new timeline, in this chunk so far. It focuses on Freddie. But she says, if the village is attacked again, the One Eyes will get everyone. And then Freddie clicks right there. He's like, she's right. Literally, Jedi Ghost here is right. And Asha's right. Which, by the way, he disappears as soon as she walks up. So clearly visible. She would have seen him otherwise. But basically, that's the motivation for this.
And I love this scene because he goes and he puts his hands on her shoulders and basically tells her that everything's going to be okay. And in my mind, that's basically like it's like he's channeling what Jed would say. Yeah. He's basically like he's having to assume this role of mature protector, basically.
Yeah, he's like the oldest warrior they have at this point, except for the two idiots.
And the two idiots are with Stola, who
they were on their way back. That's right.
And then their truck got rolled when the wave hit.
That's right. I don't remember if we saw what happened to them at the end. They're not dead, but they probably got stranded.
We saw them like after the truck rolled. I think we saw them kind of stick up, and then they could see like the smoke coming from from where the city was.
Yeah. Possible. A Jedi Force Ghost. Yes, you're a little bit late to the game there, gaming. What do you think happened to the original Build Divers force? I think a lot of them just retired. I don't think they did much. Because it seems like the Build Divers name doesn't seem to carry much weight, except for Hiruto, given his weird association to them. Somewhere Jed is now watching Gundam Build Fighters. Sorry, I was having a weird idea. I'll come back to it another time. That would be interesting. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Anyways, but there's his motivation. He says, "Look, it'll be okay because the Build Divers will stop the One Eyes," and he runs back to the temple. And basically, this is the end, kind of the end of the episode. But like the new credits start rolling, but not breaking away, and his resolve to dig through this rubble and get back into the temple is like just ridiculous. He's there day in and day out for God knows how long. It shows progress of a couple days, but
yeah, because they sort of do a time lapse thing where you see like the sun rise and set. Yeah. And something interesting I noticed, if it's to be believed as a actual representation, the you can see that like the debris rock ring or whatever rotates with the planet, but it goes slower than the passage of night to day.
That makes sense because the moon, it's moving with the moon, so to speak, right? Because they have the debris ring, but a lot of it came from the moon, and maybe what else used to be there for all we know. But we have a space bridge or a space elevator that goes to something, and then they can fly to the moon. That's the other thing. It's like there's nothing that goes straight to the moon. They have to get there the hard way. Maybe the first K9 build fighter piloting a Buku. Great. So with the existence of sentient life forms and other planets of the world, could possible part of the universe where Reggie from Fighter resides, considering he's from a different universe. Reggie wasn't from a different universe. Reggie was from a colony. They established in that universe colonies are real. Somehow. Rodimus, do you think, this is a doy, but do you think that if Build Strike and Try Burning would log into GBN, they destroy the arena or server itself? Who knows? They've got.
They don't have. If they would have access to the Plotsky particles to build up inside of themselves. Yeah, because. But if they don't have Plotsky particles, then where do their powers come from?
Did they use, what does it use in this case? Did they talk about that? I don't think it's Plotsky particles. Something scans the things. Either way, we're not going there right now. But basically, like, we already have super overpowered Gunpla that don't destroy everything. But the fact that it's a digital world, I don't know. But if you mean, what would happen if they went through GBN and got to here? Who knows? It would be pretty devastating. Nothing that our heroes currently have is as devastating as what Self-Sam could do, because none of them have super powerful beam weapons so far. Seems like we're getting that. Well, I guess technically they had the Rex Buster, but they only used that in space. But no, it would probably do some major damage, but I don't think there would be anything that wouldn't be equivalent to what was already happening in GBN. Sorry, my eye is really itching. But basically, he managed to dig through all this rubble on his own, moving, hundreds and hundreds of God knows tons of rocks to dig his way through. And he finally breaks through it. All the fact he gets stuck. It's like, hey, it's still here. Good. Oh crap, I'm stuck.
He has he still has his anime reactions to everything.
I love that. They did have that one reaction earlier in the episode that was like that huge, like thick line, crazy eyed reaction. I was like, that's fucking great. And then so he gets in there. He tries to activate the stone. It doesn't work because of course not. And so
nothing is ever easy for Freddie.
No, but he cries, and then as exhausted as he is, he just instantly falls asleep, fades to black, and then he falls into another dream. Or is it? Where's my notes? I gotta scroll down. And then there's a huge explosion of pink energy particles. He wakes up in the middle of space in a huge battle. Because, of course. And he's freaking out as the Seltsam is flying towards him.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So I guess this could be a bad dream. He was in space when this went down until something saves him. And we actually get the core Gundam with the Uraven armor on. And
which he hasn't seen before.
Exactly. So he's definitely seeing the future.
Yeah.
100% seeing the future through this GBN connection. How that's happening, don't know. But now Freddie's our little prophet.
Jabro Dirt.
Jabro Dirt. Which I'm not convinced they didn't, build this moon out of Jabro Dirt. But basically the core Gundam clashes with Seltsam, and then he looks up and is like, Hiruto? And then you get this moment where he's basically creaming in his pants. It was a little overexcited, but that's also why we used that for the thumbnail. New type Freddie. Kind of. I think Freddie is turning into a version of a new type. I like this episode. We'll say that using this part for the thumbnail was kind of lame. Why? That was funny. We needed a reaction shot, and that was a perfect reaction shot. My original thought was to do it when he was sitting at the screens looking up, and we were going to be doing the same, but this was actually better. Also, there's a hidden thing in the thumbnail that most people probably don't notice, but it'll be coming up later. Jabro Dirt's so strong at hop dimensions. Yep. Well, it does turn into Psycho Mew as long as you imbue it with the tears of millennials. Oh, not my thumbnail. Got you. You meant the other thumbnail, the actual thumbnail. But then he wakes up, which is crazy. He just wakes up and all the screens are on again, and GBN is back online. And so we know that GBN was knocked out for a while until they fixed the servers. And when it looks back, he starts poking at the screens, and then he finally finds the divers. And they're standing there having that conversation, are we going to do this? If we do this, we might not come back. And all that stuff. And he's yelling out at them until they finally hear him after I believe he yelled Kazumi's name last. And that's when they turn. But it was all a dream. Yes. So that was crazy. And then that's where the episode ends. Right? That was the end of the episode. It fade to black.
Yeah, one more thing.
That. So what the hell is that? Like literally you hear a noise like a grumbling. And then a big ass eye opens up. Well, we already know that there's a big shiny thing coming. So apparently now that this is all back online, it's awake.
You don't have a screenshot from the very last scene? There we go.
Yeah.
It's hard to see on here, but yeah. And there we go.
So I did everyone a favor and went ahead and brightened it and changed all the channels so you could see this thing.
Enhance.
So this is our sacred beast.
And something I noticed looking at when I looked at it when I was watching.
Yeah.
This feels like the same kind of temple that Freddie's in.
Very similar looking, except that there's a lake. That's water in front of it.
Oh, I was thinking it was just sand.
No. Once I lightened it up, you can see it's sparkling. That's water. Those are waves.
Well, I thought it was sparkling sand.
No, it's fucking water. So there's a water temple somewhere. um, but you can see the wings that are separate from its four legs. Has a very long neck and looking like at least one incredibly ridiculous horn. And some beardy stuff happening. Like, what the hell?
Could this be a variation of the there's a you see it in a lot of anime and stuff like that. Digimon a couple of seasons did it, where you have these mystical beasts that are guardians of like the cardinal directions, and an Azure Dragon is one of them. I can't remember which direction it's associated with.
That could make
sense. I know
sense.
Digimon Tamers did a big thing with that.
Yeah, they did. So wait, what if Morgiana's second form is this dragon? Well, we've already talked about the idea that if this dragon is real, and Valkylander looks a lot like it, that's odd in and of itself. So maybe How to Train Your Dragon. I think it's North for dragon. We'll see. Wait, wasn't Digimon Frontier the one that had them get powered up from the spirits? Yeah, that was Frontier.
That's not what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, Daigunjin come. That's funny. Wasn't there a lake being that Maya told in the festival episode? Could it be that lake? They talked about different sites in different directions, and they talked about the mountain that was in the east, if I remember correctly, or in the west. That was the one where people resurrected at, and they're talking about the Great Lake of whatever. Yeah, it's possible that these sacred areas have a particular beast protecting them. But the fact that this one is awake, who knows? Now, hopefully, as long as it's not like we have to travel to go wake up this dragon to come help us and these three dragons. Like, then it sort of takes the Gunpla out of it to some degree, unless their Gunpla merge with these sacred beasts, the actual sacred beasts, you know?
Because we do know that we get a Valkylander upgrade, and the color change is dramatically different with blues and whites.
I bet there are 4 temples, one for each Gunpla. Maybe, but there's also 6 Gunpla allowed. So maybe there's 6. Because there could be one for Tertium. We have an evil Gunpla. Don't forget the guy who has to change sides to come and help. And anybody else from the outside who might come in later.
Well, sometimes when you do when they have the thing with the four cardinal directions and the sacred beasts that guard them, 4 heavenly beasts.
Basically like that.
Sometimes there is a 5th one that's over all of them, and that's the Kirin.
Yeah, and he said there's a core Gundam in the manga that does use 4 beasts. So, there's that other core Gundam. I forgot about that. That's from the manga. That's unrelated.
That apparently is piloted by an L-diver?
I guess. I don't even know.
That's what Wikipedia, the wiki says.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't take anything that happens with the manga in any relation to what's happening in the actual series. Par is the dragon. Maybe. I mean, Par is a Targaryen. Riku is the bird or the phoenix. No, Riku needs to stay out of this fucking series. He's not the chosen one.
No.
It's like, but if
Riku is not Kira, he can stay in his own season.
I assume that anything with previous characters is all going to stay within GBN realm and not travel to here. I think that these build divers, are the only 4 meant to be here, along with Sid. May is an ostrich or fairy. Kazumi is a squid. Maybe there's an underwater one later. Who knows? Maybe there's just a bunch of dragons. But Apar is the dragon. I mean, they already referred to it as the sacred beast.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it was the dragon of legend. And now we're seeing an actual dragon. So something's going to happen. Whether it merges with or is the spirit of, we'll see. But you're right about the color change thing. But as I brought up before when we first saw the Gunpla of the new Valkylander, it's basically switched from type F to regular Estrella colors.
True.
So, I mean, it's not a massive idea there. Sid could be the accidental hero who was not supposed to be there, thus corrupted by the system. He got in somehow. All I want to know is if it was Moran who did it, because we know he had a connection to Sid when he was there. So he might have summoned them. And once again, going back to what I said at the beginning of this review, Moran left that book behind in the storage room thinking nobody would find it. And Freddie did. So to get through this, they've done this, which also would explain how he had the Darkhawk amulet. This dragon is a creator. I don't think the dragon is a creator. I think the dragon is part of the Guardian system. It's got to guard something. I think it's going to be like something part of the same system that Alice is a part of, because Alice was awake longer than he should have been. This thing was clearly sleeping. So it's probably part of and look at the color difference. This thing is surrounded by greens and blues, the opposite of Alice and the One Eyes. So this is probably part of the original system, whatever that is. Who always switches sets. Sid will wind up being the 6th Evil Ranger. Well, he's only the 5th. Patrick is the creator, right? I don't think that Masaki is capable of defeating Kyoya in a one-on-one fight, though. Yeah, we're not going there. Sid is sideways. I don't even know. Either way, this isn't over yet. We just got hung up on the dragon. But yeah, basically, I did everyone a favor by writing that up. By all means, if you want to screenshot it. But then we go into the teaser.
Some interesting stuff there.
Yeah. So we see Maya and the kids. She's like making lunch, I think, or something, distributing food. Then the really interesting part that the Gunpla appear and then dissolve.
Yes.
We see the Justice Knight and the Valkylander like partically like fall apart. Almost like they tried to bring them in, but due to whatever happened, they couldn't materialize.
And they fall apart, but
I was getting there. The part that somebody brought up earlier, pieces remain.
Yes.
The head of the Valkylander and its sword tail, and then the shield of the Justice Knight. In
the Gunpla, the head is part of the shield on the Valkylander, isn't it?
On the Valkylander, yes. But his shield doesn't stay. But in theory, he'd just have an extra head laying around, unless someone else uses it. They need to convince Alice that they need to shut down and apply critical updates. True.
Restart in safe mode.
Yeah, exactly. That's what this is. That's what the dragon is. It's the IT department. Fuck me. Anyways.
Of course, you make that comment. I remember seeing in the comments on the video somebody wondering if the dragon was connected to I think it was Miss Tori or whatever, the bird that was like one of the creators of GBN.
If she has influence over this world, that's even crazier. But the kids, you see the kids now greeting Par, because Par's like their thing, and then you see like somebody bursting through a jungle in a car. Don't even know who they were. Probably running from One Eyes. You see Moran again. The village is now under attack again, which is crazy. We see the Korg 2 going at it in like its base form, if I remember correctly. And it's actually fighting 3 of the new Wyndhams, which is crazy. And then going from there, we see May with the Justice Knight shield on her back. So it's like, didn't we point that out on the poster?
It was in one of the trailers for season 2.
Was it the trailer?
I noticed that we had noticed that we had no sign of Kazumi's mecha, but we did see May running around with his shield, and we were like, "What the heck?" Oh, and you notice on the poster, his mecha wasn't anywhere to be seen.
Yeah, they were keeping that under wraps for a while. And yes, okay, so they're saying it was Maya and Kazumi that was in the car. Okay, I missed that. So that's cool. But basically, it pretty much ends after this, except for the fact that it shows the Seltsam pilot again, screaming, as he always does, because his brain is being controlled to death. That sounded terrible. Sorry, I got to turn off screen share. So he stopped draining everything. There we go. So I don't have any other pictures to show. Either way, so hey, we're up to 23. Yay, everybody who's watching. Anyways,
Hello,
yes,
23 people.
Yes, so Miss Tori, yes, they went with that name, Miss Tori. It would be cool if that person, because if they are able to go home after this, after everything that went down, and they can report everything that happened directly to the administration. If May actually was able to tell the administration everything about what happened, and they're looking into it like they always are, they're just always looking into things, which they finally came back with some answers before, I guess, but they're like, oh, by the way, worldwide shutdown of the entire network was caused by what? An alien satellite on a planet 30 light years away? Why? Because 4 people got in there. This is something that I think that the GBN administration would be very interested to know, that their system is somehow connected to an alien planet. And no, I mean, the idea that maybe some of the people who created GBN, obviously Miss Tori was well aware of the Eldiver possibility, and whenever they did finally show up, she basically like, yay, you're alive, cool. To find out that the system can now create real people, so to speak. It's crazy. I think Teleport 4, the original Gunpla, is busted. And that's why you only get the new core Gundam and May's Gunpla body. Maybe. Because you don't see... Because we see Valkylander go away, and we see the other one go away. But, I mean, if it was for the original Gunpla, then May's stuff would break down too. I mean, maybe... Because technically her Gunpla body is her Gunpla. So it wouldn't... Her May doll wouldn't be there either if that was the case. Maybe the Wodan pod doesn't, but yeah, I mean, if it's one of their specific pod or pads that they transport into, it's destroyed. Maybe there's a problem with that. Obviously, if something causes them to break down, we'll find out on Thursday.
That's so far.
It is. But yeah, no, it's interesting to think that they might have to do upgrades because they can't use their Gunpla in there anymore for that reason. Or maybe the Valkylander can't be used in its other form because that dragon's awake now. Who knows? But it's interesting to see that parts got left behind. Specifically the head and the tail of the Valkylander. That's weird. A weapon and then just a part that moves from one spot to another. The head does nothing. Hold on. What do we got here? GBN admins are the worst. This is true. Isn't there a new Age 2 coming? No, it is the Age Tri, which is a combination of all 4-ish. Some people say that the clear parts are FX. No. But Tri-Age. I keep saying Age Tri. It's Tri-Age, yeah. Which I want that kit. I think it looks really awesome. And I remember the Earth 3's shield was left behind in Season 1. Yes. I don't know technically Earth 3 or just Core Gundam shield. But a lot of their stuff got left behind, so who knows why it falls apart.
I think it's Earth 3 specifically.
Okay, what are you looking at? Oh, you're looking at the Gunpla?
I have Earth 3 like right next to me, so.
That's fine. This episode was great, but thanks to Shoki, it became amazing. Thank you.
Not to me, though. I had nothing to do.
Hey, it's your fault. It was you that basically pushed me to decode that. You're the one who said, dude, look at this. It's got to be some type of real code. It's like, these look like this could be real language. And
it's when I was looking at that one, I was like, wait a minute. 3 characters underneath May.
Yeah, you saw that it's May. Yeah.
And then I saw the same character for A several times in Kazumi's name. I'm like, Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, basically. And what was my reply? I said, give me a minute. I was
I think your exact reply was like, you expect me to translate all this, don't you? And I'm working on getting stuff set up for Easter. So I'm into going, it's like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Like, you didn't think I would. I don't think you thought I would. And then I went above and beyond.
No, I know you well enough now to know that you would easily get obsessed with something like that. I felt a little bit bad that you had gotten so
the fact that it was so easy is what made it worth doing. It wasn't that hard. The hard part was determining what numbers were what.
Yeah.
And then there are some things, if you actually look at the language, when I get a good thing put out for the translation, I'll put it up. I got to make it look pretty. My handwritten one sucks, guys.
Yeah.
Some things do make sense in the real world, like 6 and 9. Their symbols are inverses of each other, just like 6 and 9. And something I showed you earlier is that 4 and H are only one line difference. Just like if you wrote the number 4, not the triangle 4, but it's like, that's crazy.
Somebody had fun making this.
Yeah, somebody had a lot of fun creating it. What was the other thing? I forgot there was one more picture to show. My bad.
Oh.
As the thing I mentioned to you before, I got to bring it back up. Luckily, I didn't close that. I forgot that I had one more picture to show. Okay, so there's the May. This one. So in the intro, come on. Okay, I don't have it. Hold on.
Oh no!
Oh wait, I bet I didn't put it.
Stream's ruined.
No, it's there. I don't know why it's not popping up. Strange. The picture is there, but I can't bring it up offhand. Hold on.
Print it out and hold it in front of the camera.
Give me a second. Or give me a second. I'll see if I can bring it up. Okay. I assume that didn't change. Okay. Close that one. That's the one I want. Did the screen go away? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I'm trying to bring up this one particular image. I don't know why. It's literally the next thing in that thing. Okay. So.
Oh.
Okay, guys. So this is the shot of the. This is from the box art of the Alice Gundam Earthgree version. Now, something I wanted to point out. If you see that big old eye, right? The big old one eye.
Yeah, it looks like a target, kind of, right?
It looks like a target. And all of the one eye things, with the exception of like the Daughters, kind of have this. That is legitimately the letter I in their language. It is a target.
When you told me that, I was just like, that's amazing.
So let's see, can I show it? Because it was the second letter I translated. Because it was I was translating Hiroto's name. So H and then I. So let's see if I can bring me up here.
About to say we're still. Yeah. I'll have to readjust your
camera settings. Sorry, just to show this off. Exposure down. That's upside down, but that's that second letter there. The circle with a dot is the letter I. So it's a single eye thing. They're called one eyes, and the fact that it's basically a singular entity controlling them.
That is just.
Did they
so
really?
Cool.
Did they really go that far into that design aspect? That is legitimately the letter I is the I on that thing. I wonder if the red circle is a sticker. I'm certain those are all stickers.
Oh.
Let's just be honest here. It's just like I did go full MatPat on this, didn't I? But either way, I was just like, as soon as I translated that, I sent you that message. I'm just like, wait a minute, that thing is literally the letter I on its face. So now we got to kind of look around. And even when they zoom in on Alice's eye, it does that same ring pattern. Even through the intro, every time they showed that on screen, it's a close-up of the eye, so to speak, and it's the two rings with a circle in the middle. I'm just like, I hope that they went that far into their design details, and that's not a happy accident. So, I mean, they went so far to create a fake language and put it everywhere, and even write gibberish in it, you know? It's like, this is literally not a statement. It's just random letters in a row.
It's okay. I know what the random letters might be.
What?
If in design software, there's it's called like lorem ipsum or something like that. It's
Okay.
basically it's fake Latin, and they
Yeah.
use it as filler text, so you get an idea of what a design looks like with full text, and
Yeah.
it has different size letter or different size words,
Yeah.
spacing, punctuation, and stuff like that.
It's yeah. So they did fake a lot of text in the book, at least from what I could try to translate. If I can get better shots of it. The hard part is like so many things are like half drawn, and there's one letter or there's several letters that look very similar to other letters, kind of like they do in our own language, which doesn't make it easy because I have 3 unidentified symbols that must be must be attached to the letters I don't have. I just don't know which one's which.
You just need to wait for 4th of July when they're talking about barbecue, and then we'll get B and Q.
I'll get B and Q, and I need J. There's no letter J at all in anything. It makes it difficult. And like I said, I got almost all of the alphabet just from that one screen alone, and the numbers. And there's nowhere that I could find in season 1 that showed everyone's IDs, but they almost clearly show Kazumi's. And so that made it real easy to decipher the rest of the numbers. And then I just figured out the rest. Like, here's the funny part. Guess what the letter 0 looks like?
What does the letter 0 look like?
Like a 0 with a line through it. like the 0 that most people draw with to make sure you know it's not an O with the line through it. That is their letter 0. And guess what the letter 9 is? Or the number 9. From what I can tell, it's X, which is weird. I don't understand that. But it's the only, like, it's one of the ones that I had to guess. Not 9, I'm sorry, 8. 8 was X. So they're kind of doing the crisscross of 8. Sorry, I had that wrong. Also, 4 is an X with an extra thing on it, so it has a relation to 4. Sorry, I had my numbers wrong. So 8 is X, is an X shape. 4 is an X shape, but one side's closed, which is also similar to the letter H.
Interesting.
Yeah. I can't wait for the video essay dissecting why this is so good. It's funny. Hold on. DJ Soundway says, I still prefer build fighters. That's fine. The series goes deep. No. Well, maybe it really does. Do you think that Rerise will go darker than season 1? Probably. It's potentially going to be the best Gundam build series ever made. Maybe. Cryman Devil Baby. I like that name. That's funny. So this show is honestly phenomenal. It's getting good. I just hope they don't go second season problems and like speed through the story. Like they don't need to rush through anything. Flush it all out. Or at least
I just remember, and I think I sent you the text on this where somebody in one of the Gundam groups was talking about, it's like, I'm getting tired of these build series. I want a series with war and death in it. I'm like, did you not watch the last one?
Exactly. It's like
they genocided some puppy people here, okay?
Yeah, they killed hundreds, if not thousands, of puppy people in a single shot. Not to mention endless one-eye drones. And somehow our protagonists survived that. Oh, that was the other thing. Remember, it said that their Gunpla weren't timing out.
They weren't damaging out. So and we still don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah, they're not. Well, they're real. That's what it is. They're real things. That's where they said, "Is this real?" You know,
like, is this the real life?
He's starting on it now. How far back did you send me that meme? Was it on Thursday?
Yeah, because it would have been, because it was not too long after I finished watching.
Found it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Just so everybody can see it, because it's hilarious.
And we need to start wrapping up because it is getting late.
That's gonna be our wrap up moment after I get there. Oh, no wonder I couldn't find it. It was over there. I was on Facebook. I was like, why can't I find? There we go. For everybody who wants that, that's his silly meme. He sent that to me. I'm like, really? Okay.
I'm just surprised nobody else made that joke.
Yeah. Are C and K separate letters in this alphabet? Yes, they are, Jerry. It is one-to-one English letters.
With all the weirdnesses that come with that.
Yeah. Presumably there is a Q because, like I said, I've got 3 unidentified letters, and I think B is very similar to the letter. What did I say? Not E. Which one is it? Yeah. B and E are very similar. The only difference is a line. And if you think the way E is written, could be. But that's just a guess on that one because I have one that looks so similar to the letter E, but it can't be the same symbol. They literally killed a box full of puppies. That's entirely true. Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, I said IBO says hi, but yeah, IBO wasn't a build series though. That's what they were getting.
Yeah, I mean,
Patrick is an Helldiver. Happy New Day. Looked at his time zone. No, this is Gundam. That's funny. Either way, guys. So it is gotten late, and some people have to go to bed. I guess I don't know. But guys, of course, do the like and subscribe thing, both to him and to me. His channel is linked down below. Go check out all the MS100 links and stuff like that are down below, including the new merch, including the new hashtag where the dirt shirt and sticker. And there's also some other new stickers in there. I did order myself some stuff. I need to see where that is in the world. Go check out any of the merch. All merch between now and the end of May is going toward the MS100 contest. Also, if you don't know about it and you want to build some stuff and throw it in there, cool. If you are new to the channel, like you've never heard of me before, please subscribe. We're going to be doing this every week as the new Build Divers episodes roll out. And as new kits come out, we will both be reviewing different ones or the same ones because he's got some custom Build Divers stuff coming up very soon. Teasers. I teased for you.
I just have to fit. I'm debating on some extra paint work to do on a weapon for it.
Yep. I like that. Hold on. What was this? They're asking a lot of questions. Oh, we never even got to the question we posed to everybody.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so just real quick, guys, since we didn't get to it, if you saw the question I posted on the community tab, it was basically if you were in the GBN universe and you could pick your own costume, what would your costume look like? Nobody answered that question yet. So do you want to wait a minute and see if anybody answers? Or do you want to...
Sure, I can wait a little bit.
Okay, so we'll give you that just real quick. Sorry, I know we were signing out. That was a fake sign out. Just remember all the things I said. Don't leave. Actually, we just gained another person watching. So once again, for everybody watching, in the chat, tell us what your GBN outfit would look like. Would you go with like a normal suit type? Would you go like weird medieval thing? Would you go full furry? But did you come up with one? I know you were I think you were trying to allude to drawing up something that you never got to.
Because I was thinking about having something ready for the stream and stuff, but then you had this idea of maybe checking with the chat to see what they had. And the main thing I know about for myself is I would have goggles, but that might be just because there's a new new season of Digimon going right now.
Well, there you go. There's one.
A cat Kira.
Okay, that's the other thing. Would you look more like you, or would you like pick a character to look like? As we know, Cosme.
I think I would make myself look like me because I tend to do that whenever I have whenever I have like a character builder thing. As it's one of the things I try is making myself.
Yeah, I think. A lock-on.
That's a cool outfit too. Yeah.
Okay. that's pretty funny. Oh yeah, because you can be a Haro. As a guest, you can log in and you're a Haro. That's good. I kind of want to be a Haro. That would be funny. A lock-on.
As for my outfit,
season 1 or season 2, or movie. Which lock-on costume? No, also normal suit or regular walk-around clothes. Lock-on had a lot of clothes.
I would maybe do the pilot suits that the Gundam pilots in Wing have towards the end of the series when they're all wearing kind of the same outfit.
Yeah. I think I would go either season 2 or movie walk around 00 uniforms, like the Celestial Being uniforms.
Oh, the crop jacket or whatever with
Yeah,
it
like the
where
crop
it doesn't.
jacket stuff. Yeah, and I would probably do either Setsuna or um, wow, my brain just died. Hallelujah. Either the orange or the blue. Gaming would go for the Xeon uniform. We need to have a question for every stream so we can have people jump in. Xeon, just the basic Xeon uniform, sleeves uniform. Arturo wants those cat ears. Yeah, because remember Momo went full cat.
Part of me thought about cat ears,
Yeah,
particularly with the version of me that you created for the InfoWars.
yeah. So I like that. Yeah, I gave you the cowboy uniform. Um, I look like hard hands down. He said Haro, be a Haro. That's just the guest login. Modified. Okay, but honestly, maybe a modified version of normal suit Jonah Basta wears at the end of narrative. He's got a cool suit. The NT suit is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a highly modified version of what Riddy wore in the Banshee.
Actually, the pilot suit from Unicorn is pretty cool, especially with the glowy bits on it.
Yeah, the ones that basically have Psycho Frame attachment to it. Yeah, but I would go for the Banshee version because the orange and blue looks cool. Pixelman, be a cross of the 00 pilot uniform, fantasy armor with armor plates on the arms and lower legs and waist.
Ooh, I like that.
I've always wanted like a one arm armor, like it just starts at the shoulder pauldron and goes down. So maybe the jacket, the 00 jacket, but like no sleeve on this side and armor down the left side, so it's shield side. That'd be cool. Carlos wants to be Akira, not Akira, but a Kira.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking Akira as in.
Yeah. Setsuna's civilian clothes, like the blue shirt, the scarf, and the white pants. Bad that I remember that. it's like I've watched 00 enough that I know what Setsuna wore. 8th MS team. See, Jeremy Osha was around and didn't even say anything up until now. Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, I don't know if you'd want that as an avatar or if you'd want that as a digital pet. Have Kira's Tori. Something outrageous.
Truly outrageous?
Just pick something. Give us an idea. Use words. Use your words. You have time to type things out. Wow, that jumped so quick. I was behind. Hold on. I was that far behind. I clicked down twice and it jumped 20.
Yeah, Gundam Wing back. The pilot suit is good. Yeah. Of course, that's nostalgia speaking for me. I know for certain.
I think as a backup, I would do the Mr. Bushido outfit from 00, but with a different mask, but with Zero's mask from God damn it, help me out here, Code Geass. That'd be interesting. The Zeonic Meister? What? Meister, I guess is what you're trying to say. So a Zeonic Meister suit, that'd be interesting.
Either that or it's a Zeonic Gundam Meister with kitty ears.
Is that what you meant, Arturo? I'll just wear classic Zeon Commander clothes. Fair enough. TriStar Haro.
Complete with the little TriStar symbol.
Guts
from Berserk.
Puppy Lock On Final Battle version. That would be funny. Let's see. Please don't skip. Please don't skip. Please don't skip. There we go. Something similar to Char. He wants to be like full on like commander of Zeon. Personally, I'd go full frontal. You mean normal suit or
never say that again?
But do you mean his normal suit or his walk around uniform, like with the red shirt, the gold stuff, and the white?
Admittedly, like the sleeves dress uniform.
Yeah,
looks really snazzy. I mean, it's probably not super comfortable or anything, but it's an avatar. Yeah. So there is something to be said about the fancy Xeon, Neo Xeon sleeves uniforms.
Yeah. I think Pixel Man thought I skipped his answer, but I guess not. Oh, I did. Oh, I didn't skip it. Okay, it's up there. Yeah, I read it with the Quanta custom. Okay. Quattro's sleeveless Ayug uniform is cool. He has that for cosplay. Oh, yeah. Yep,
I
mullet.
always find it funny that Ayug are sleeveless, and Quattro eventually, goes on for Neo Zeon, and then they create sleeves.
He does like his puns. Okay, so he wants to have the so he wants to walk around full frontal uniform. So the red with the decorative stuff and the white pants. They were snazzy. I'll say full frontal wore some nice stuff, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
What about
color is probably he has that high color though. That's probably a little.
Yeah. Are you gonna have the golden locks too? Like the golden curls? Man, so having a jacket like Benazir's would be pretty cool. Why can't I think what Benazir's jacket look like? You notice we never seen somebody just like straight up regular Amuro, like the denim jacket, yellow shirt kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure there's got to be one in the background.
Look in the background, yeah. And why does nobody want to dress like Maggie? Nobody's
actually
going.
You know what? Especially if my Gunpla and GBN would be like my mascot, the Ultraviolet. Mika's jacket is big over
puffy green jacket.
Particularly if it stays like oversized, even on me or something like that. I think that puffy bright Noah.
Yeah. So let's see. He wants Quattro, who's piloting the Quanta. I'm just kidding. I would like to look like Mikazuki August from IBO, but a tighter jacket. Oh, sorry, missed that. That it moved as I was clicking, and then there's that. Yes, the She is Quantas that had cat ears. Yep, leather jacket. Okay. I just don't remember enough about Benazir. I'm just going to be honest with you. There you go. That'd just be a guy in a Double October shirt, probably. He wins. Shoki gear for the win. There you go. Double October 4 shirt. I'm kind of depressed. I don't think there's going to be a Double October 5 this year. There's nothing to review. I might be able to get my hands on like 4 kits, if that.
Yeah, it's all like RGs right now.
If I can even get them. That's the problem. The RGs are pretty sold out, with the exception of a few. So I'm going to have to try to snag some MGs. If I can get the 1-to-100s to review, that will probably be my only outlet. Okay. Armory Avatar with a Noah Bright slap mark. Just always walking around with a brute cheek. Nowhere near fab enough. Yeah, but the thing is that it's a digital version of you. Maggie doesn't 100% look like Maggie. And also, nobody went with a JoJo reference. Except finally, Pixel Man's I'll be JoJo character in tights. Is there a JoJo character that isn't wearing tight clothes? Somebody should make, someone should make Shoki shirts in Animal Crossing. Well, that'd be great, except I don't play Animal Crossing, so I never see it. Also, that might be stealing my designs. I don't know how that works. Shia Quanta, that's right. Yep. Or Kamen Rider themed. Ooh. You could be what was his name in the show? Dex? What was his name in Masked Rider?
Oh, I think it was Dex, yeah.
His
or Dax or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. His uniform, but his white tracksuit that he wore everywhere.
Well, that was based off of what the main character from Black RX wore.
Yeah. Why has nobody chosen to have a force of 6 people and go around full MMPR'd out? I mean, are there just no Power Rangers fans in the comments, I guess? I would do it.
Well, it's remember, I mean, this is a different universe, but remember in Build Fighters Try when that one group busted out the Tryon, and everybody's like, did he just bring Super Robot into a real robot thing?
So Super Robo stuff exists in this universe. And given that there's some form of Bandai in this universe, it's possible that, you know, Super Minipla stuff exists. So you could have a Super Minipla Megazord in GBN. Might be a whole
They're obviously made
small,
from a different kind of plastic.
doesn't matter. But either way,
There's
I
no
think
Jabro dirt in Mini-Pla plastic.
that's true. That's how they move. They're made of Jabro dirt as well. Everything's made of Jabro dirt. That's where the GBN servers are. They're in Jabro. The only place big enough to host it. I may do a custom 00 kits. I might have to rely on people's 00 customs this year. The guy from Disturbed album artwork, the what is his name? I already forgot. Not the Disturbed one. It's something. It's all player created stuff. People have made it. No, I know. I understand, Jerry. Avengers Force. That'd be interesting. Gofetti Rangers. Mazinger Z was Bandai too, though. Imagine somebody bringing a Mazinger in there.
Oh,
And they're just looking up at it like, oh god. Flame
somebody
Toys.
brings in Ideon.
I don't think Flame Toys would work because they're not Bandai. They're just Bluefin. Megazord Gunpla. Yeah, well, somebody, I don't know if you saw this. It was in it had to have been a Model Maker's Boom Hut, I believe. I could be wrong. But it was somebody built a custom Megazord Gunpla, but it was made of like just kit bashed parts. Like
Oh, yes, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That thing was crazy looking.
It looked like one of the original movie, like the Bayverse movie.
Yeah, it was very Transformers 2007.
Yeah, it was interesting.
2007, really? God.
That was the original. Yeah, it was. But
I
no,
know, it's just that's way too damn long ago.
Also, you could imagine using an RG EVA kit in GBN, since that is 1/144 scale.
Actually, it's not.
It is.
I thought it was. I thought it doesn't have markings for the scale on it. Even though it's RG, it's not.
The listing I saw had a scale posted. So maybe
because I did actually, I watched a review on that, and the person said like it's not actually 1/144 scale or something.
Let me double check, just real quick while I have it here, because I saw
the listings may automatically say that because it's an RG.
Maybe, but HG stuff doesn't always. Let me go. I have to double check now because I have been telling people that it said that, but it's also huge, so it's possible that it is.
And then after this, I got to go.
That's fine. I know. Crap. That's not going to be under Gunpla. That's over here. Looking. There. I was like, it's like not Macross. It's Evangelion, the other one. I'm just going to double check, just because now I'm confirming for myself, because I thought it was one way, because I know the old ones had no scale. Because we got into that. Yes, people wanted to know if they could enter that in the. Nope, that's not. Here we go. Make sure I click on an RG version, not one of these other like Robot Spirits or Revoltech. There's so many EVA things. I'm just gonna double check. At this point, it's like, which website is right? It's like that seems to be the problem. Which way is correct? Actually, I don't even know if this is going to tell me what I needed to know. I don't think it does. Oh, well, I'll look into it later.
Okay.
That's not box art. What is that? Okay. I just want to see something that actually says it. So I'll look into it later, but it's fine. I'm sure the comments are blowing up. The old ones were 1/400th. Well, the thing is, depending on which kit you're looking at, they either had a scale or they didn't. Like, so the no grade ones literally had no grade. Oh god, rock up on GBN with a grade 8 Vegeta kit. That'd be crazy. All right, guys, so that's it. That's going to be the actual end of it. Sorry, we went on there. I'm glad you guys decided to participate there at the end. That was fun. I'm just going to click on this and then go. Yeah, using it. If somebody could use a Neo Zeong in GBN, first of all, it wouldn't fit in the device. It'd have to fit on the little thingy. It's like, somebody walks in and you just got this huge thing sitting on the unit while you're trying to pilot it. That'd be hilarious. I mean, some people use really big mobile armors, so I mean, maybe, I don't know. I found a V fin on my Nemesis Prime. I can use it as my Gunpla. Put a V fin on it. It counts, right? Hey, I made a Gunpla into a Nemesis Prime. So that's a Gunpla. It just looks like a Transformer. So it can happen if you just do it. Gunplay is freedom, goddammit. Either way, guys, like, subscribe, do all the things. And remember, as always, to keep on nerding, to keep on building. And let's keep building up this community together. And
I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.
yes. Or as I said that one time, let's keep building the shelf space together. Crossovers. Bye, guys.
Night.